Welcome to Lancashire Cricket TV. What a glorious evening it is here at Emirates Old Trafford. We have an absolutely crucial game in the North Group of the Vitality Blast T20 competition with Lancashire Lightning playing against Durham. Normally we'd have a little conversation with our guest, who is Kate Cross, this afternoon, but we'll talk to her in a moment because the guys are all ready for the toss. So I'm going to send you in their direction. Cameron Bancroft and Dane Villas standing by to do the toss, and we'll find out the winner of that and speak to those captains in just a moment or two.
Ready to go? Can we go? Heads. Tail. We go to back. Thank you.
Wait for interview, please. Dane?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Whoopsie.
Step in next to you.
Dane, hello, you've won the toss. I got it wrong last time because you came and spoke to me because you were so desperate to have a word with me, but you actually lost it, but this time you won it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was probably a good omen. So now we won the toss and we're batting.
Which isn't a surprise because generally you tend to here at Emirates Old Trafford. Is there anything different about this wicket that made you even more determined?
No, I think it's just a fantastic wicket. It's close to the middle as we get, and it looks a brand new wicket, and get first use of it. Hopefully we can put a big score on the board and then put them under pressure a bit later.
We've been talking about the importance of these games for a little while now, but you've got yourself into a very good position, fourth in the table because of essentially what happened this time last week. Do that again, results going your way and a win here, and you're through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said last week, every game's a big game and we need to start winning. Hopefully, thankfully we did that last time, and hopefully we can put in another good performance. We know they're a good side. We hopefully can avenge the loss to them at their place and get a W. Yeah.
And do you have any sense of wanting it to be over tonight, or would you like to seal it against Yorkshire, or do you have absolutely no preference whatsoever?
I think obviously we'd love to do it tonight if we can, and then have an easier game against Yorkshire. I don't know if you ever get any games like that, but we're focusing on one game at a time, and we need to really focus on this tonight because, like I said, they're a good outfit.
Tell us about your team.
We got the same team as the other nights, so we're just going to go with the winning formula, hopefully.
All right, Dane, thank you very much indeed. Go well. So Lancashire have won the toss, and that means that I have the opportunity now to speak to Cameron Bancroft, who is the Durham captain. So chasing, how do you feel about that, Cameron?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I was going to have a bat as well, but looks a good wicket. We're going to have to bowl well, and then hopefully we can chase the score down later on.
And hoping as well, a crucial night for you two, hoping to get back into that top four reckoning. It slipped from your grasp after a wonderful start to the season, so how determined are you to get back into that quarter-final berth?
Yeah, we've still got a lot to play for. It's a big game tonight for us, so we're really looking forward to the challenge. And yeah, we just start again. We played some good cricket at this tournament, and we played well against these guys last time, so hopefully we can draw on that today.
Tell us about your team.
Two changes, Bryden Cast, Liam Travascus back in for us.
Tell us about Bryden Cast, because he's made some waves at England level, and so how delighted are you to have him back in your ranks?
Yeah, very delighted. We're very proud of him. I know the county are. Absolutely, he's worked really hard and he performed really well. So it was a great experience for him, and yeah, we're looking forward to him being back for us tonight.
Look forward to watching him and indeed your team. Cameron, go well. Thank you very much indeed.
Cheers, guys.
That's Cameron Bancroft. So Dane Villas, the Lancashire Lightning captain, has won the toss, and he has decided a surprise it will not be to bat first here at Old Trafford. We'll have the confirmed team news for you very shortly and chat with our guest Kate Cross too.
Today we're supporting through the energy check, basically rewarding a volunteer who's been a massive part to the local cricket club Winton.
It took me by surprise when Gary phoned me, and I realised it was after the 1st of April, so I thought it's not a joke that he's putting on me. So I thought, well, all I do, I just wander around the streets collecting money.
Mike has been working for Lancashire Cricket as a lottery collector on behalf of Winton for the last 20 years really. Must have raised in excess of £20,000 for the club, going out every other Thursday night collecting around the local housing estate that have all supported the local club.
It's guys like the volunteer who's just won there, who's absolutely amazing works, helps run this club.
It's been brilliant. I can't say enough about him. He's a first-class guy, really. The lottery we started 27 years ago, one of the main aspects of that was the support of local community clubs, and obviously the likes of Winton. I mean, we've got over 70 clubs now that have linked into the lottery.
Whenever we need money, committee members or foots told me and said, can we get X amount because we need like a new shutter for the door or the nets over there.
Those earnings really go a long way to help the day-to-day runnings of a cricket club. They can spend those funds on new cricket balls, nets, new rollers, anything they like really. Over £20,000 in that time has gone into Winton, which I think has been brilliant.
And then we got the grant for the 3-lane nets, and they've been up there 3 years now, I think.
Without the likes of these cricket clubs and grassroots clubs, you're not going to see the progression from the kids coming through up to the senior teams. So it's really important for me to really reward the people that are keeping these clubs like Winton going.
My local clubs, they normally go unnoticed, kind of like the unsung heroes, but I think what we're doing, it's really pleasing to see, giving back to local communities.
Jennings is alongside me to have a look ahead to this one for no other reason that he is a Lancashire opening batsman. Oh, no, hang on a minute. He used to play for Durham as well. Good to see you, Keaton. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk about the opposition and the slight predicament they faced themselves in simply because of your form over the last couple of games. But this is a crucial match. I think I've spoken to pretty much every player over the course of the last few weeks saying that this one's crucial. Well, once again, this one's crucial.
Yeah, it's kind of felt like that the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't it? Yeah, but no, look, I mean, when you look at this game and tomorrow's game, there's sort of two really crucial games for us. Everything's in our hands, essentially. If we win 2 games, we go through. Otherwise, we leave it up to sort of fate and other results going their own way. So, look, hopefully put in a good performance tonight, and then we sort of set ourselves up really nicely for tomorrow.
We've been saying it, and we will continue to say it. You can go through tonight if you win and the Bears lose to Worcestershire. So that's clearly something that you would like to happen. I appreciate that you're relying on other results, but to have it done before the eternal jeopardy of a Roses match, that would be rather nice.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think a lot of fans would probably prefer not to get through and actually win both Roses games. So, no, look, I think essentially for us, we've got sort of a big 24 hours now. Make sure we play really good cricket over the course of 80 overs and make sure we get into that quarterfinal berth. Scrap all other results, make sure we play good cricket and come out with 2 victories.
And you can tell us about Durham, because they'll be frustrated. The first half of the season they were just sensational in this competition, and they've completely fallen off the wagon. And so you'll be facing a team who are desperate to try and claw back the advantage they had over you until last week.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I mean, they're in a very similar position where they'd want to win. They've got some younger guys. I mean, you saw Casey make his debut for England a couple of days ago, bowled nice and quick. So you've got a couple of guys that can make an impact. But we need to make sure as a playing group we just play some really good cricket. And I think, especially here, we do play good cricket here. And we need to just make sure we start well.
And give us a sense of how pleased you have been with your form at the top of the order, because there is that eternal kind of conversation about the role that a batsman like you will play in the T20 side. You've batted 1 through 6, sometimes 7 and 8, depending on what's gone on in the game. So you've really contributed at the top of the order in the way that has helped Lancashire after that dodgy little middle spell. You've really given the solidity that they needed.
Yeah, thank you. Look, I mean, I suppose from my point of view, when you bat at the top, you need to make sure you go through, get scores that allows the team to get into positions to win the game. You do have the availability of facing the most balls, which essentially you need to make the impact in. So it's always good to get the team over the line. But yeah, look, I mean, played a variety of roles, and I think that as a player, that stands you in good stead to hopefully read the situation appropriately and play appropriately. So I think I started my career as a bowler, batting 10 for Durham, and ended up sort of opening the batting. So look, I mean, again, it's about making an impact wherever you sort of get that chance to do so.
And finally, do you ever set yourself a strike rate target? With 54 not out of 41 last time around, so are you hoping that that's the kind of measure of the tempo that you'd like to set?
Yeah, I suppose so if you want a sort of template form, but I think you've got to assess the sort of stage of the game, who you're batting with. I think just before the end of power play, Finney and myself were at a very similar rate, and then sort of read the situation that Finney was going well, and it was my job at that point to make sure I get off strike. So I lower my risk and allow him an allotment of balls to be able to strike. So again, it's about reading the game appropriately and making sure you set up your innings in appropriate fashion to what you require.
And it's remiss of me, and I do apologise to everybody watching, but particularly to you, Keaton. Well played this week. I should have said that at the very beginning.
Cheers, man.
An extraordinary innings, well done. Now there's a football that's arrived here. Are you going to kick it, or am I?
To be fair, I prefer not to. I might break my ankles. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you see my football skills.
Well, I'm not going to, because I'm pathetic. Keaton, very many thanks. Go well today.
Cheers. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, welcome back to Lancashire Cricket TV. Here we are at Emirates Old Trafford for this absolutely crucial game, the Vitality Blast North Group. We have Lancashire Lightning against the Durham, used to be the Jets. I can't get that out of my system, can I? Durham are here welcoming Lancashire Lightning to an absolutely crucial game. As I mentioned, it could well be the night that Lancashire get themselves a quarter-final spot. If you'd like to get involved with the show, you can do. Hashtag Lightning Strikes is how you get involved on social media. And also, you may well remember from last time, we have made the match day draw a virtual match day draw. So if you would like to have the chance of winning a signed Lancashire Lightning shirt, all you need to do is head to lancashirecricket.co.uk/store. You will see a little tab there with a foundation on it. Just click on that and you can buy your ticket. You could be winning that very special prize a little bit later on. So that is all to come, but we have first the confirmed team news for you. You can see up on the big screen, that is the Durham side. So just to run you through that team, it is 2 changes. Bryden Cass, Ben Rain, Ned Eckersley, Cameron Bancroft, the captain, Graham Clark, Liam Travaskis, Sean Dixon, David Beddingham, Scott Borthwick, Matthew Potts, and Paul Van Makeren. So that is the Durham side. And here is the Lancashire Lightning squad. And these are the people that deserve every cheer you have in your body for them. Welcome the Lightning. Here they are. Starting with number 32, Finn Allen. Number 1 is Keaton Jennings. Number 17, Alex Davis. Number 33 is the skipper, Dane Villas. 15, Stephen Croft. Number 12 for the Lightning, Rob Jones. Number 3 is Luke Wells. Number 14, Luke Wood. 26 is Danny Lamb. Number 2, Tom Hartley. And number 22 is Liam Hurt. So that's the lineup for the Lancashire Lightning as I come and join much trailed, and here she is now. Kate Cross is alongside us here on Lancashire Cricket TV. And Kate, we'll talk about your day in a moment because you've had an interesting one. But let's start by having the conversation about today's game. And garbling my words earlier, it's no longer the Durham Jets, it is Durham, who come here after a wonderful start to their campaign, but they've completely come off the rails, as I was mentioning to Keaton Jennings. So they are a wounded animal, and yet Lancashire have to just get over them because they know that there is a chance that tonight their fate could be sealed.
Yeah, I think 2020 is the kind of format that you can't really look at what's happened. I think everyone talks about winning being, a momentum, and you try and create that. But I think it can be anyone's game on the night, and Lancashire know that they've got a big night ahead of them. They're going to want to do it tonight. They're going to want to get through to the quarterfinals tonight. So yeah, it's a big night for both teams. So hopefully it'll be a good game.
Yeah, the inconsistencies for so many of the teams in this competition have been laid bare this season. I don't know whether it's this season in particular, but the inability to strike a run together, which actually, if you think about the last time that this competition was played, Lancs did brilliantly at the beginning of their campaign and then just got into the quarterfinals. Well, it was a second-place finish, but Notts had a wonderful campaign. They were almost unbeaten throughout. So the inconsistencies this time around, and these two teams have faced it, has been particularly noted.
I think you've got to remember as well how much COVID has had an impact this season. You've got players who've got, if they're close contact, they're isolating for 10 days, they're not getting cricket for 10 days. So there's a lot more in the mix than just injuries, form, that kind of thing that the coach is having to take into consideration. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. We've gone into championship cricket and then coming back to 2020 cricket. So again, there's different formats flying around. But I'm just hopeful that it's a good game of cricket tonight. We've got obviously a lot of people here on a gorgeous day in Manchester. So what more could you want?
Yes, no problems with any dangerous outfield here today. It's been a strange old week for Lancashire, hasn't it, in that Roses game. They're playing so well. Josh Bohannon, Keaton Jennings, Luke Wells, all doing incredibly well, and then cut short in that match, which I alluded to with Keaton a moment or two ago. But it's simple tonight, isn't it? Because if Lancashire do win and Birmingham beat Worcestershire, they're in. If that weren't to happen, so for example, Lancashire win and Worcestershire are beaten by Birmingham, it does go down to a Roses clash. And given everything that's happened this week, and given the inconsistencies that we've spoken about, the Lightning don't want to go into that game needing to win. They might love it if they do, but they don't want to go in needing to win.
That's your story tale, isn't it? That's the one. That's the Steven Spielberg novel, isn't it? But yeah, I think they're going to want to do it tonight. And first and foremost, Lancashire have to win. I don't think they'll be too concerned about Birmingham until they get off the pitch, having got that win over Durham tonight. So, yeah, first and foremost, they've won the toss. It looks like it's an absolute belter of a pitch. And I think Lancashire are confident when they get to go out and bat first and then defend. So, you know, Dane's already done half of it with winning the toss.
Tell us about your day, because as you may well know, Kate Cross is the Manchester Originals 100 captain, and you've had not one but two opportunities to test the format, test your captaincy skills in that new format, and to, frankly, learn the rules.
Yeah, I mean, we're laughing about it, but yeah, that was absolutely my day. It was the first time I've captained in the 100. We had 2 warm-up games at Sale, so not too far away. Won one, lost one. Batted first and bowled first in each game, so we've had a bit of a taste of everything. Our 3 overseas players have joined the squad as well. We've got Harmanpreet, Lizelle Lee and Mignon Dupree, 2 South Africans, so they flew in last night. So yeah, it was just good to kind of, I say blow the cobwebs off. It's not cobwebs because nothing's built
Nothing's
up.
been
We didn't
set,
know.
has it? Yeah.
But it was just an opportunity for the girls to get used to the fact it's 10 balls at each end now, not 6s. There's no overs, got to get used to saying balls. But yeah, it was good. It was good. It was fine.
And how excited should we be about the prospect of this new format? Because there are so many people here in particular looking forward to watching the Manchester Originals, both the women and the men. But throughout this competition, it's something completely new. And yes, we're going to have to learn it too. But once we do, what kind of excitement levels should we be feeling?
First and foremost, let me just say it's a game of cricket. I think everyone's getting quite caught up in the theatre that's going with the 100. But ultimately, it's bat versus ball, and that stays the same. The amazing thing for the women is the opportunity it's going to create. We've got all of our games on Sky Sports or on the BBC Live. We've got girls who played in the Kia Super League who were exposed to that, but now we're going to get that every single game. You know, it was the odd game in the Kia Super League that was exposed, so it's going to hopefully be a great opportunity for the women. The Manchester Originals already feels like it's not the men and the women, it feels like a team already. You know, we're going to be hopefully doing a bit of work with them. I might be able to learn from the likes of Stephen Finn. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to playing cricket, because I think, like I said, the theatre is kind of maybe taken away from what it is, and it is a game of cricket. And that's what people should look forward to and hopefully come and watch us.
And if we have a bit of both, that's okay as well.
Yeah.
And the Manchester Originals play the first game of the new format in the first playing of the competition as well. I think your team's over there somewhere, isn't it? So you're going to be spending the bonding,
yes,
enjoying the game tonight. Kate, don't go away. We'll be back with Kate a little bit later on. But in a moment or two, we'll be meeting a gentleman who's going to tell us all about WaterAid. You may well have seen it on the Lancashire Cricket website over the course of the last few days, and the work that they'll be doing to support WaterAid. That's coming up next.
Is the rest of it gone?
Oh, wow. Do that. We can get...
Oh, I've got it broken it.
I'm not sure how I'll defend the wicket with this bat. It's not long enough, but we'll give it a go and see how we get on.
Defending my stumps against some of the best in the world isn't easy with a full-size bat, so with 75% of your defence mechanisms, and that's hard work.
I'm Hashim Alma.
Alex Hartley,
Liam Plunkett, and I'm supporting WaterAid's
Bring Water Appeal.
to make sure everyone in India has clean running water at home.
Donate today and we can help bring a brighter future to those that need it most.
So WaterAid is an incredibly important thing for both Lancashire and indeed anything that you can get involved with as well. It is a charity that is doing so much fine work, and Bob Prothero is from the charity and can join us now. Tell us a little bit more. We've just seen a little teaser of the work that WaterAid do, but what is your core mission at WaterAid, Bob?
Yeah, so WaterAid's core mission is to help to bring clean water, decent toilets and good hygiene to everyone, everywhere. Basic human rights.
And the batting for water hashtag is something that we've just seen it now, but on the Lancashire Cricket website as well. Keaton Jennings and Alex Hartley getting involved. How do you bat for water, Bob?
Well, yeah, the COVID-19 pandemic is an urgent crisis in India. So we know that hand washing is a key defence against the coronavirus. But 98 million people, that's more than the population of the UK, still live without a source of clean water. So we want to raise awareness and gain support for this campaign so that we can bring water to those who need it most in India.
And how proud are you of the support of Lancashire? And clearly the connection is a cricket connection with India, but it's also so many people on this stream who are in India right now. How proud are you of the efforts that Lancashire have made to help you?
We're fantastically proud of the relationship that we struck with Lancashire Cricket Club here. And of course, WaterAid's COVID-19 response in India covers so many different aspects. We've been installing vital hand washing facilities in public areas, such as markets, schools and health centres. And we've been running mass media campaigns as well to promote the importance of good hand washing and hygiene.
And we've seen some of that take place, and we're very grateful for you being here, Bob. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game as well.
Thank you so much.
Which is also a part of what you're here for. So to WaterAid, to Bob, thank you very much indeed. Just to remind you of the team news, it is that Lancashire Lightning are unchanged from their win last week, and they will do so, take that 11 into a game that, of course, if they win, they do so, and everything goes well at Worcestershire against Birmingham, it has to be a Worcestershire win and Lancashire go through. We'll be talking about those permutations as the day progresses, of course, but it is unchanged for Lancashire. It's Finn Allen, Keaton Jennings, Alex Davis, Rob Jones, the captain Dane Villas, Stephen Croft, Danny Lamb, Luke Wells, Luke Wood, Tom Hartley and Liam Hurd. For Durham, the headline team news is that they welcome back Bryden Cars after his fantastic appearances for what was an incredibly, totally changed squad that England had in that one-day international series against Pakistan. Of course, they also tonight are playing a T20 match against Pakistan, the first of three, and you might be wondering where the likes of Saqib Mahmood and Matt Parkinson are. Well, they are involved in that T20 squad, as of course is Josh Butler and Liam Livingston. But this team won last week, and if they do it again tonight, it could be enough to send them through. You'll be able to find out if they do just that, and of course keeping tabs on everything that goes on between Worcestershire and Birmingham Bears in the company, of course, of none other than Mr. Scott Reed.
Yes, a warm welcome to the commentary box here at Emirates Old Trafford. Beautiful, bright, sunny evening as well. Yeah, glorious night here in Manchester for this penultimate group fixture of the T20 Blast, where both Lancashire Lightning and Durham are needing results here this evening to keep alive their hopes of qualifying for the quarter-finals. Still, I'm afraid, with a kind of limited capacity crowd, but still plenty in, enjoying the beautiful sunshine. Need plenty of factor 30 on this evening. Don't be deceived by the fact it's 6:30. Need a factor 30 on. We're going to hear from Kate Cross a little bit later on. She'll join us. Martin Emerson from BBC Newcastle alongside me. Paul Horton with me as well for the start of this match. Looking fine and dandy in your shirt, Paul.
Very, very kind, actually. Yes, I've not got no factor 30 on because I'm up here with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, put on a shirt tonight, put some shoes on. Look quite smart.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You've scrubbed it well.
Yeah, you can never be overdressed, in my opinion. So I'm here. I don't think there might be much factor 30 out there. People have been locked up for a long time, so I think people will be enjoying the sunshine, getting some. It's like Costa del Sol, isn't it? You can't fly, so why don't you come to Old Trafford and bake?
That could be on the marketing equipment.
Well, it's a good way to get some vitamin D and stave off any possibilities of any illness as well, isn't it? I suppose. So, as long as you're socially distanced.
Indeed. Martin, tell us what's going on with Durham, because they're off to a flyer, and then it's all kind of gone a bit belly up.
It's all gone a bit Pete Tong. They won 4 of the first 5, including winning their first match of the tournament against Yorkshire in fine style as well. And it's not often that Durham get off to a winning start in the T20. They've lost 5 of the last 6, including 3 straight defeats at home to the sides who had arrived for those matches in bottom spots. So it started with Northants, then it was Leicestershire, and then last Friday it was Derbyshire. And on each occasion, the opposing team's commentator has turned up and written off their side before the game's even started. Well, I've tried to suggest this is Durham, and it just depends which Durham team turns up on the night. But they've just lost their way a bit. It all started to go a little bit wobbly for them. It was just after they played Lancashire seconds in the T20 quarter-final at Chesley Street Cricket Club, which is just up the road from the Emirates Riverside. And the day after that, it was announced that one of the backroom staff from the second team had tested positive for coronavirus, so the entire second team squad had to isolate. So when Durham then played a few days later, the first team played Warwickshire on a Friday night, they basically had 10 players left to pick from, and they were allowed to bring Ben Stokes back early from a broken finger. And then they went and got Kyle Coates and another Scotland player on emergency loan. They've since signed Paul van Meekeren, but they've had injuries as well. Paul Coughlin's out injured with a thigh injury. Bryden Corse and Ben Stokes last week made up part of that emergency England 11, and they've just lost their way. Alex Lees hasn't played in any of the T20 because of a broken hand. I've seen him in the nets this week, so I thought he might be back today, but he's not in the starting 11. And Liam Travaskis, he's also he's an excellent bowler. We saw what he could do here 2 or 3 years ago when he turned the game on its head. He's been out for the last fortnight isolating as well, so he returns tonight. And Durham need to win this one, because if they don't win tonight, that's it for them. They can't get out of the group anymore. If they do win tonight, then it takes everything to Sunday afternoon. Durham are at Notts on Sunday for some strange reason, and a 4 o'clock start. We can't quite work out why. But yeah, it's been a good start to the tournament and a bad second half. So can they change things tonight on a ground where they've won 4 of their last 6?
But to a degree, Paul, that kind of does sum up a lot about T20 cricket, certainly through the group stages, doesn't it? That you can start well and end poorly, you can swip it around, you can have a good middle and poor end and a good start. That's when you've got so many group matches, to have consistency for 14 games is quite difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I mentioned this last time I was on air with yourself. You're right. To have 14 group matches, it's very rare you go and win all 14. That just doesn't happen. You're playing against good teams who have equal powers, and T20 can, someone can have a night out, a bowler or a batter, and it can change the game. So I think you're right. What you need to do is really try and peak at the right time. Durham got off to a bit of a flyer in the competition. They've had things that have affected them. Obviously, throwing COVID and people isolating and challenges like that, and then players missing and injuries, and all of a sudden it's quite a unique competition this year with the challenge that the clubs are facing with regards to their staff. And for the first time, you've seen Derbyshire and a game's been abandoned because they can't fulfil the fixture. So it's quite a strange T20 competition. I think Lancashire are peaking well at the right time. I think they're starting to get the game in order. Last time I was here, they blew Northants away. I think they're peaking at the right time. But on the flip side, I think Durham have probably got some of their better players back for tonight's game. They'll probably be happy that Bryden Corse is available. They'll be happy that Liam Travaskis is available to bowl left-arm spin at Old Trafford on a big field that spins. And they've got some dangerous cricketers that can take the game away. And it sounds like they can be a little bit hit or miss at times, and that's because when they hit, they really hit, and they're a dangerous side, and that's hard to play against. So it's a really intriguing fixture.
It is, with plenty on it for both sides. As Paul touched on there, with games being cancelled because of COVID. Derbyshire's final 2 group games being cancelled because of COVID. That potentially shakes things up a lot, doesn't it, as well? But we shall see. I'm sure both sides are determined to keep their heads down and focus on tonight's result.
You recall my panicky phone call this morning, don't you? When I looked at the fixture lists in Cricinfo and it had these matches cancelled, and I thought, hang on, what have I not heard? And so I rang Scott this morning, and a quick call to the Durham press officer to discover that for some reason they've gone and cancelled the wrong matches rather than the Derbyshire matches. They've cancelled the Durham games instead. So
it's a crazy world we live in, Paul.
It is.
I did see that, actually. I did see.
You thought it was off?
I think it was a tweet. Yeah. Cricinfo obviously made a bit of an error there. So just regarding the Derbyshire matches, are they obviously forfeit the game? Is it the teams who are playing against will get a win, or is it just down as a draw, or as a tie?
A panel will sit and decide on a points per average game, roughly what the team should be awarded. So
I have a revised.
Hang on, isn't that exactly the same as
points average? So yes, that's how it's going to be shaping up with the average points per game. It doesn't affect the table at the minute. Everyone's played the same number of games at the moment. So this is how it looks. Notts are top, 19 points. Yorkshire second, 15 points. Worcestershire third, 14 points. Lancashire Lightning are fourth, 12 points. Here come the umpires. This is exciting. I need to get out more. I am out. I'm at Emirates Old Trafford. I love it when the umpires walk out. Here they come.
Michael Goff and James Middlebrook. Michael Goff, of course, former Durham opener. James Middlebrook, former Northants, Essex and Yorkshire spinner. I think it's fair to say Goffy's probably the best in the business at the moment.
Well, looking to you, Paul Horton.
Yeah,
to answer that question.
Yeah, he is definitely one of the best, if not the best. he's been a fantastic umpire. He's definitely, I think from an early, so there was early signs in his career as an umpire that he really was going to go a long way. He was very calm, took his time to make decisions, and he didn't make a lot of bad decisions. And I think that them three qualities in an umpire make him quite a good one. So the players get on well with him. He has a good rapport where he balances, being official, but also having some rapport with fellow professional cricketers. That always goes well with the lads, when you can balance that. So he's been a very good umpire. It's great to have him in a domestic game like this. And same with James Middlebrook. Also in his nature's quite a quiet guy. So he's calm, and it's great to have him out there as well, umpiring this game.
Yeah, keeping check of you professional cricketers.
Yeah,
so keep you in order. Finn Allen there is scratching around to take guard. So Allen and Jennings, the opening pair for Lancashire Lightning, and the man on screen, Bryden Carse. Martin, that is a great boost, isn't it, for Durham to have him back for tonight?
Certainly is, and he's played well, hasn't he, in that? I wonder what would happen if the emergency England one-day side played the proper England one-day side. Who would win that? Because that's been incredible what they've achieved last week.
Go on then, Martin, you take the Anderson end.
All right, well, Bryden Carse, then ball in hand. He's going to have a ball here. And here we go. And on strike is Finn Allen. As Carse bowls, that's turned off towards long leg for one. Brilliant sunshine here in Manchester. Matty Potts feels that. And all of these comments about Manchester always being wet, I cannot remember in all the years I've come here to cover T20 since 2004 seeing a game lost to the weather here.
No, it's because it's always glorious, that's why.
In the T20 we lost an entire one-day cup game about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, we forget about that one.
Yeah,
we move on from that one.
Yeah, but in this competition, no. Now then, Keaton Jennings, obviously formerly with Durham, and until last season his top score in T20 had been 88 in finals day in 2016 against Northampton. I think that was in the final. As Carse comes in from the pavilion end, this is played up to mid-off, no run there. And then last year he went a bit daft with the bat and got 108 against Durham and put on 170 for the first wicket with Alex Davis, which was also a record. So I think his 88 in finals day might still be the highest score in a final. I don't think it was beaten last year because there were truncated matches with the weather, weren't they? So he's a left-hander. Well, he's facing a fellow South African who is now qualified like him for England. That's dabbed past backward point. Clark dives, can't get to it. And Paul van Meekeren it is, the tall Paul down in the left-hand corner. And Paul next to us, you know a bit about him. You played it. You saw it. He was on trial at Leicester when you were there.
Yeah, when I was at Leicester a couple of seasons ago, he came and trialled and impressed. Actually, he was actually battling a bit of an injury, but obviously on the back of some success with Holland in some T20s and in qualifiers as well. I think he was out in Abu Dhabi. He really impressed. He's definitely got a lot of attributes. Durham will get really good things out of him, I think.
Carse to Allen. It should be out. Oh, it's flown past actually Rain. Initially when that left the bat I thought he'd mistimed that and I thought that was just going to be a simple catch for Rain at mid-off, and then it absolutely rocketed past him and away for four. Rain diving high to his right, couldn't get near it in the end. Must have been the angle we're looking at that there, because that went like a shell, but initially it didn't look like it.
Would have been a hell of a catch from Ben Rain.
Would have taken his hand off, I think.
It did look like it was an easy catch to start with, and then it raced past him and hit the fence.
Yeah. Carse in again, and this is up in the air. It's a little paddle over the top. Oh, just evades the keeper. Lands beyond the discs, just behind Ned Eckersley. It was one of those teasing ones, dangling like a carrot. Couldn't quite get to it. It was only about a yard in front of him when it eventually landed.
Such a hard catch for Ned Eckersley, running backwards over his head. He's got to turn and run and get to position and then take the chance. He was never really in the hunt. Amazing shot by Finn Allen to hit it straight over his head and over Ned Eckersley behind. A very fine paddle, incredible paddle to take on with a fine leg and the deep backward square out. So it had to be straight. His third man's up against him, so I suppose he was looking to get it that straight.
Jennings on strike now as Carse bowls. This is turn 2, fine leg on the disc. Oh, and it's a spill by Reddingham. 1 run. It wasn't a catch, he just went through his hands. End of the first over then. and Lancashire, having elected to bat, are 8 without loss. Finn Allen so far this season has scored 311 runs going into this one, including 73 not out in Lancashire's win against Leicester. He's had the 3 half centuries, and Keaton Jennings hasn't played in that many matches this year, has he? 240 runs, highest score 88 against Notts. He's had the 250s.
Yeah, he came into Lancashire's team, Keaton Jennings, in the blast after probably the first 2 or 3 group matches.
He didn't play at Durham, did he?
He didn't.
Because I had him in my stats, and you said he'll not be playing tonight. I was a bit surprised about that after he got 108 last year. But anyway, he's playing against them tonight.
He is, having signed the new long-term deal with Lancashire. He's been here for 4 years now. Doesn't seem 4 years ago that he signed.
Well, he left Durham at the end of the 2017 season, so his final match at Worcester when the news came out him and Graham Onions were coming here.
This is Potts running in from the state of men. And that's driven. Stopped by Benningham inside the circle at extra cover, and there's no run. 8 without loss in the second over of this blast fixture live from Emirates Old Trafford. Keaton Jennings on 2. Lancashire 8 without loss.
Looks a really good surface tonight. It's got that sort of hard slab, fresh pitch look about it here at Old Trafford. The sun beaming down on it, and the way the balls come on up front, it could be a high-scoring game.
Potts into Jennings. Just sort of sliced the ball down, back with a square on the offside. Graham Clark just at backward point fielding, and there's no run. His brother used to play here, of course. Now with Surrey, Jordan.
Didn't he get 6 sixes in a match against Yorkshire seconds in Scarborough a few years ago?
Yeah.
From Cumbria, aren't they?
There's a few Cumbrian connections, aren't there?
Yeah, Travaskis as well.
Both the Durham and Lancashire sides. So Potts, 2 balls into his first over. Jennings is waiting. He'll step down the pitch and chops the ball through the offside. Pick up and throw a direct hit. And Finn Allen is a goner. But the throw in from Sean Dixon missed, and through for a single. Oh, he's going to give us a no ball as well. That will be a free hit.
It's not what Matthew Potts wanted, and overstepped the mark. A free hit to Finn Allen. He could have done with that ball being a direct hit, and Finn Allen been run out. But he's not the player you want to be on a free hit to. It was a poor run by Jennings. Looked like he called Finn through, but he got there in the end. And I suppose if you go on your partner's call and you get run out, then he has to hold his hand up. If you both hesitate, then you've got no chance.
Yeah, I think he's gone, isn't he, with a
yes,
a direct hit. Yeah. So Potts just overstepping, so a no ball, so a free hit, and it's Finn Allen on strike. A deep mid wicket and a long on, protecting that boundary. What will Potts serve up here? 11 without loss. Step to the leg side and swaps the ball out through the leg side region, but it's scooped up by Sean Dixon, who comes up from long on. So in the end, not too much damage done. 12 without loss.
Took a lot of the pace off the ball there, didn't he?
He did end up being like a slow ball bouncer, and bigger side of the ground out to that side where Finn Allen was looking to hit, and he basically said, if you're going to hit it, you're going to have to pull it over deep backward square leg for 6. So quite a good delivery from Potts.
12 without loss. 3 balls left of the second over. Potts to Jennings again. Just cuts the ball down.
Good stop by Dixon there.
Oh, it's leaping up inside the circle.
There's a lot of it's a hard outfield, that, isn't it? The way that bounced.
At times the square can get really hard here. It almost felt like concrete at times in the middle of the summer after a bit of sun. So that's bounced off a second wicket that hasn't been cut yet and nearly gone over backward point's head. Incredibly hard, the square at times.
Potts into Jennings, just flicked off his pads out towards the onside. Stop in front of the temporary stand on the leg side boundary. And the throw comes in, so good work out in the deep.
Yeah, Carse got a round there. It was touch and go as to whether he'd get across to that one or not, but he managed to get there just. Floodlights are on it. The sun's absolutely blazing in here and the floodlights are on.
Is that a standard thing to put them on at a certain time because they've got to heat up and they've got to be on by it, so maybe just stick them on, or is it just someone's turned them on.
Paul, you come with all these questions. This Potts is in, and
I come with no answers.
This is down the leg side. Signal is a wide. Score moves on to 15 without loss.
Maybe it's my role to answer the questions.
Yeah, they normally have them on at half time, don't they? But I mean, it's still the middle of July, isn't it? So.
Yeah, someo's thought, you know what, let's stick them on now. Saves me doing it. If I stick them on now, I can knock off home early, and at least the lights will be on by the time I get. I know that I've done my duty. So the lights are on early here in case you can't see.
Potts to Jennings. It's come off the shoulder of the bat, just down towards the third man boundary for a single. 2 overs gone. So 16 without loss. Allen 7, Jennings on 6. I think, as you can see there, we're looking at a bright blue sky. It is glorious here in Manchester. But I've got a funny feeling in the regulation state that for games that are going into the evening, you have to start with them on. I think you have to start with them on, even if it's sunny, because they're in the regs. I can't believe there's any other reason why they would be on, apart from the fact that you would have to start the match with them on if we're going to need them later on.
I agree. I can't see any other reason. I think they obviously take some time
to warm up.
And to
like
get
me.
on.
Yeah.
So why not get them on early? And I suppose if that means whoever switches them on can knock off, then why not?
Might be able to do it by app as well. It's Van Meekeren bowling now, and first ball's played back past him. 1 run. Probably in the pub somewhere.
Hope I didn't press the wrong button.
They sat down with a pint and actually accidentally turned the lights on, even though they weren't meant to do it until later on. Paul van Meekeren, Netherlands international. He's played in quite a few one-day internationals and T20s. This is driven back past him, and that should be 4. Finn Allen going after him there, the Kiwi, and that's away to the pavilion boundary for 4. Played at a World Cup, and I thought maybe that was how Durham might have come across him, because Neil Colleen, one of the Durham coaches, had coached with the Netherlands at the World Cup. But I think the link actually was the Dutch coach and Marcus North, Durham's director of cricket, know each other. But Paul van Meekeren did play in 2016 for Benwell Hill in Newcastle in the North East Premier League. Now this is a big hit from Finn Allen, and that's launched over long on, just bounces inside the boundary by maybe a foot. What's that building called again? I forgot.
That's the Point.
The Point, yes. That's why I'm pointing at it there, yeah. It's an impressive building, isn't it?
It is, and it started to look, part of the ground. Well, when it was first done, there was no big stand next to it, and obviously there was no hotel, so it
looked a bit peculiar, didn't it?
It did stick out a little bit, but now with the hotel on the other side, same sort of design in red as well, and the same height as the pavilion.
And they've added the extra tier on the pavilion as well.
Yeah, extra tier in the pavilion, and it says it off. It's a wonderful cricket ground now.
Yeah, it looks the bee's knees, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Definitely from here, it's a wonderful view. It's a great view from the Point as well, looking down, if you don't look into the big floodlights.
25 for none. So Van Meekeren bowls again, and that's cut to Point. No run there. 2.4 overs gone. So he's played 7 ODIs for the Netherlands and 45 T20 internationals. This is his 62nd T20, and he's taken 54 wickets. Best figures 4 for 11.
Big strapping lad, isn't he?
He is. Tall and thin. Right arm over, and Allen takes him on again, and has cleared Travaskis at mid-on. Travaskis stops the ball just underneath the Point and slips a little bit there. They run 2. 27 for none. Last ball of the 3rd over here on the BBC. Glorious evening in the northwest.
Crucial game, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, if Durham don't win this one, then that's that. My wife's going to start thumbing through holiday brochures. Van Meekeren comes in and bowls to Allen. It's a bouncer which he can't reach. Is this going to be a no ball on height? It is. He backed off a long way, but he was stretching an awful long way, and he's tall as well, isn't he, Finn Allen? Must be a similar height to Van Meekeren. Where would you have him height-wise, do you reckon?
Van Meekeren, he's 6'4".
What do you think about Alan? He's quite tall as well, isn't he?
6'2".
Yeah.
Very precise ball. Good.
Yeah, how are my guesses going here? I don't really know. We're going to have to Google that, aren't we?
Outstanding guesses.
I think we're going to have to look them both up, and we'll be stunned to discover they're both 6'3".
There or thereabouts, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Changing the field here with the fine leg coming up, isn't there?
Fine legs come up. Travascus has dropped a long on the boundary. And Meekeren coming in, right arm over from the pavilion end. He bowls. It's a slower ball to the leg side. It's lobbed in the air. Carse is down there around a deep backward square leg. And they run 2 more. 31 without loss after 3. So they're going well here. Tad over 10 and over. And one guy's already dancing. I don't think he's been drinking responsibly this afternoon. judging by those moves, 3 overs in.
Got all the moves in, didn't he, to be fair?
Yeah. He's raving.
Not sure it had any factor 30 on either, to be fair.
Get it slapped on, boys and girls.
Quite a tough start for Van Meekeren in that over. Obviously, facing against Finn Allen, who's flying in some good form from his last innings against Northants. Yeah, here at Old Trafford.
15 runs off it.
This next delivery is speared in by Carse, but down the leg side. So it's singled as a wide by the umpire. 32 without loss. So starting the 4th over live from Emirates Old Trafford on the BBC Sport website and app, and Lancashire Cricket TV for this Friday evening fixture, the penultimate of the group stage. Bryden Carse, fresh from his England duties, returning for Durham. He's in and bowling to Jennings, who clubbed it over the onside. Couple of bouncers underneath the little cover. Potts will come field it. And it's 4 for Jennings, swatted away through the onside. 36 without loss. And the start of the 4th. Good start of the power play, Paul, for Lancashire Lightning.
Yeah, really good start, and I think they've at times hit the fielders as well. This is a worrying start for Durham. It looks a cracking wicket. Any score above sort of 180, very, very hard to chase at Old Trafford.
Cast to Jennings, dabbed into the offside. Ball rolls across that matting, which is protecting one of the pitches here, and get through for a little cheeky single. So Jennings up to 12. Lancashire Lightning 37 without loss. It brings Finn Allen back on strike, who's had a decent competition for Lancashire Lightning. 66 in the last fixture for Finn Allen. Most of his runs have come here at Emirates Old Trafford. He's not had too many scores on the road. New Zealander, who has since secured a place in the 100 competition. Pass into Allen. It's a short ball. He bends his knees, gets underneath it, and through to the keeper. No run.
Colin's got his work cut out tonight. He's just tweeted, he says, it's a busy night. I've got the Open Golf, Formula 1 qualifying, the International T20 and the domestic T20. I'm wondering if they'll all climax at the same time. I'm going to need quite a few screens. Enjoy the wonderful weather, he says.
There is a bit going on, isn't there? Right, look at that England game. Carse is in, swatted back down the pitch by Finn Allen, stopped by Carse off his own bowling, no run.
Did well there to get to that, didn't he?
He did. Pakistan are batting first, 26 without loss after 3 overs. The England team comprises of 3 Lancashire players, with Liam Livingston, Saqib Mahmood and Matt Parkinson all in the England team for the T20 international against Pakistan.
Looks like the wicket covered up. Is that for the game on Tuesday night?
Oh,
England-Pakistan?
It could be, yeah. This is heaved away through mid-wicket. 1 bounce, and then out towards the boundary rope, nestling at the bottom of a speaker, which is blaring out the latest bit of music around the ground. 41 without loss, with 1 ball left of the 4th over. Tomorrow night's game against Yorkshire is also televised, but the might well be preserving that main strip for the international fixture.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they used that strip and then played the England wicket would be a fresh wicket. So they probably used the Yorkshire game will probably be on the same wicket as this, I would have thought. This wicket for tomorrow night, and then obviously a fresh wicket for the. But it needs to be covered up and keep a bit moisture in with the weather forecast.
It's cast in. It's short again. It was a big thick top edge, and it'll land safe down towards the boundary. And as ever, some of the best T20 shots are big filthy top edges which spoon over the infield and down towards the boundary for 4 runs. End of the 4th over. 45 runs on the board for Lancashire Lightning. Nice bright start by those two, Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen. Drink being brought out for the 2 Lancashire batsmen. Jennings on 12, Allen on 27. Drinks being brought out for the batsmen. Plenty of drinks being consumed in the stands as well. 4 overs gone. Good start for Lancashire Lightning.
It's a great start for Lancashire Lightning here. Finn Allen is really motoring. He looks in great nick. Although he's only had 14 balls and Keaton Jennings had 12, he feels like he's had a lot more of the strike. He's put bat to ball and he's been dangerous. He's really put Durham under pressure. I'm not surprised that they've gone into spin here. Looks a great wicket. The ball's been coming on, and let's see if Travascus can change the state of the play here. The ball just coming on with the seamers. Finn Allen really enjoys that. Keaton Jennings is a very good player of spin, so he'll enjoy this. He'll be maybe looking to go inside out, or his reverse sweep will be one of his options, I would have thought.
32 wickets for Travascus, left arm round, and that's gone down the leg side. He starts with a wide from the pavilion end. His best figures 4 for 16 here in 2018 when Durham turned the game on its head and won. Balls again, and Jennings down the track, launches it over the top of long on for 6 into the bottom tier of the pavilion. And, made that look very easy. Durham under the cosh here in a game where they must win. We've already had at least a couple of wides and a no ball in these first 4 overs. 50 up, 17 balls. So 52 for none. After 4.1 overs. Travascus again, and turned around the corner this time by Jennings for 1. Cut off by David Bedning coming round from fine leg on the discs. Bit of a stiff westerly, St George's flag fluttering on that really tall mast on top of the pavilion, and the Union flag just to the right of it. Just catching the wind on our microphone a little bit outside as well. Allen is on strike on 27 from 14 balls, 5 fours. Jennings 19 from 14, 1 4 and a 6. Travascus with his sunglasses on, bowls. That's high. Might go on the roof of the point. Where's that come down? Oh, it's been dropped in the stand. It's a massive 6, but some of the fielding from the spectators this year has been awful. And I think it's probably down to the fact none of them were allowed in last year. They've just
out of practice.
Yeah, they're out of practice, aren't they?
Went high, that didn't it?
Yeah.
Blimey. Oh yeah, put down in the crowd.
Yeah.
And the challenge is it now needs a sanitise because someone's dropped it, and see if it makes it even worse. They've dropped it. It needs to be sanitised.
And then a photographer's picked it up. So
yeah, everyone's had a go at the ball. So James Middlebrook is getting a cloth around it and sanitising the ball to give it back. Hell of a strike from Finn Allen, and quite a tough ask here for Travascus to come on in the 5th over when there's no wickets down and both batters are flying is a real hard ask to bowl spin with only 2 men out.
Well, he's gone for 14 already in 3 legitimate balls. That's 4 more. Finn Allen stepped back towards square leg and clattered that through the covers for 4 towards the hotel. This is running away from Durham at an alarming rate of knots already, this. 63 on the board in the 5th over. It's not as bad as the world record power play, which I think was Notts against them about 5 or 6 years ago. They put something like 99 on the board in 6 overs. Alex Hales went to town on them that day. Travascus in again, he bowls. Allen plays it past the bowler. It is cut off, and just 1 run. Cut off by Bancroft at mid-off.
does look a really good surface, like I mentioned before, and the more they're batting on and standing delivering from Finn Allen shows how good a surface it is. It's obviously a fresh wicket. They're going to get 2 games out of it. Yeah, you're looking at 180, 200, and then Durham are really in a challenge to chase them down.
Travaskis in again, and Keaton Jennings went down the track looking to flick it through the leg side. It thumped into his pad. End of the over, 5 gone, 64 on the board.
That is some 5 overs of a power play, that, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And Finn Allen is a really, really powerful and dangerous player, isn't he? He stands and delivers. He can pull anything from length to short to from a wide, mid-on to deep backward square leg, and also he showed earlier that he has a paddle over the top, so he's got plenty of power. They look like the seam bowlers have come up, brought the 3rd man up because they know he's strong into the leg side, but it's dangerous play because he can paddle here. But I think you want to be letting him paddle. I think that's not his strongest. You don't want him to let him stand and deliver.
Potts comes back into the attack. Oh, I see, huge hit over extra cover in towards the temporary stand. Take the catch. Oh, you have done a thing. I think you've got it. Oh, have you spilt it? Oh, you've spilt it again.
They're all looking at the floor again.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, yeah. What's your excuse this time in the crowd? Got hands to it, couldn't stick. It's a huge hit for 6, though. Blimey, that's 70 without loss.
Far too short a delivery. I mean, it's a good shot, but I mean, it's banged in far too short there.
But he sort of knows he wants to bowl short. He's got a deep backward square leg and a deep mid wicket. Yeah, he wants the bowl, get Finn Allen to pull, but what Finn Allen's doing is giving himself room, clever batting, and gambling is going to be short and swatting it.
On to 44 now. This is picked up inside the circle at short final leg, throw towards the bowler's end, trying to run Finn Allen out. That would have been a bonus for Durham, but he's got through for one, so Finn Allen moves up to 45. And Lancashire Lightning 71 without loss. 2 balls into the 6th over.
He's missed out on the fastest 50 against Durham, though, by about 3 or 4 deliveries here. At one time, Tyrone Henderson from the semi-final in 2008, I think it was, held the record with 19, and then Josh Cobb did it.
Keaton Jennings is back on strike. It's Potts in from the state of the men. It's crunched away through the offside, but doesn't beat the infield. Picked up by Sean Dixon, just at the edge of the little discs there, the 30-yard circle.
It was that 7-over thrash against Leicestershire. Did you play in that one in the rain about 2 or 3 years ago on a Friday night?
At Durham?
At Leicester at Grace Road? Who was it?
I'm going to say no. I can't remember.
It was one of the Leicestershire players it was like a 15-ball 50.
Was it Ben Rain?
No. Was it an overseas player? I'll find it. It's in my notes somewhere.
It's in your copious amounts of notes.
Yeah. Luke Ronke. 16 balls.
Field changing then, with square leg coming in and point dropping out. It's the final over of the power play. It's full and it's wide of off stump, and Jennings can't make contact with it. Taken by the keeper, no run. So a dot ball. There's not been too many of those in the power play so far.
Yeah, that was a game that shouldn't really start, and it was chucking it down as a Friday night at Grace Road. It was on TV, so they played 7 overs a side. Luke Ronke smashed 50 in 16 balls. Durham won, and the penultimate over of the Leicestershire innings was actually a maiden. It was a weird night.
Potts again, full toss, which is slapped down the ground up towards the media centre here, into the advertising board, into the black sight screen. 4 more for Lancashire Lightning, this time off the bat of Keaton Jennings. At full toss, swatted past the bowler at lightning speed, arrow straight down to the rope. 75 without loss, with 1 ball left of the power play.
You can see what Potts is trying to do. He's trying to get his Yorker in. He's got a deep point, a 3rd man. He's wide Yorker. He executed the ball before. He's just got a little bit straight, and ended up being a full toss, and Keaton Jennings has swatted it. The wide Yorker looks like what he's trying to execute.
He's got it right once in the over, hasn't he? And he gets it right for a 2nd time, through to the keeper. Dot ball to end the power play. Went peeling away in celebration there, did Potts. But the 6 overs are complete, where fielding restrictions are in place. And Lancashire Lightning are off to a flyer. 75 without loss. Finn Allen on 45 and Keaton Jennings on 23. And a beautiful sunny evening at Emirates Old Trafford in Manchester. Shorts and t-shirt weather all around tonight. For those with us via BBC Radio Lancashire, DAB is where you need to be to continue to listen to radio coverage of this fixture. So BBC Radio Lancashire listeners, it's on DAB to continue to listen to the cricket, or the BBC Sport website and app, or the pictures being provided by Lancashire Cricket TV with spin and Scott Borthwick coming in from the Jimmy Anderson end.
Well, they had to go into spin, and it's a popular play here in the 7th over. Obviously, the field goes back. Spin plays a really big effort here, a big part of the way Lancashire played their cricket. And Scott Borthwick leg spin. You know, it's every chance for Durham to try and get some control into the game. Now it'll be tough because Lancashire haven't lost a wicket, but if they're going to get back into the game, they need to get a few wickets here, I think, Durham.
Borthwick into Allen. Allen with a little dab off towards the leg side. Borthwick races across to fielded, about 5 wickets across on that leg side. How did Durham put the brakes on here? That's the question. Jennings is on 23, and Allen's double that. Right arm over to Jennings, the left-hander, turned backwards off square leg for 1. Mervyn says 6 extras off 3 overs. Where did Durham's troubles lie, I wonder? Yeah, they're a bit sloppy in their home defeats recently as well, with all the extras and no balls, and proved costly. Borthwick again now to Allen. That's up in the air, and that's cleared quite easily. Bryden Carse at long off. He's on the ropes, and it's been dropped again. Front tier of the pavilion, and that's 50 for Allen. 21 balls.
Brilliant 50. 21 balls, just missing out on the fastest half-century in T20 cricket for Lancashire, which was Joss Buckley. His 50 came off 20 balls, but 21 deliveries for Finn Allen. Blistering stuff with the bat. Just a reminder for you, for BBC Radio Lancashire listeners, you need to make sure you're on DAB to continue to listen to the cricket.
Borthwick in from the pavilion end, pulled by Allen. There's 2 men out on Cow corner. It's cut off by, I think, Potts. Good throw back towards the bowler's end. 2 runs. Is that his 4th half-century of the campaign, did he say?
I think it is, yeah. He's got 73, I think his top score. He got 66 last week against Northants.
Borthwick in and bowls. Dropped short on the leg side. Borthwick chases after it. A little bit of hesitation from Jennings originally. Borthwick has collected the ball and is now lying on his back, and he's burnt his back.
Like I said before, when you dive on this square, it's hard like concrete. It's not the place to be diving.
You're leaving part of you out there.
And he's left a little bit of his backside on the 3rd wicket along, which is probably one of the softer ones. It's got a bit of green on it as well. So if it was the 2nd wicket, it is like concrete. So he's lucky, but at times fielding on, especially the wicket ends, can be quite tough.
Last ball for Borthwick, 86 for none. Jennings plays it out past the discs on the leg side along the floor for 1, and that is the end of the over. 87 for none.
These two have shared a century partnership already this season in the Blast. Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen. In fact, it was the first time that a pair of them played together. Jennings making 88 and Finn Allen making 60 in that game where they put on 118 runs against the not-out balls. Again, that went on to be tied. Do we know what a tie would do for qualification, or should we not go down that route?
It wouldn't ruin it for Durham.
Okay.
It would mean they'd need to win at Notts on Sunday and hope Lancashire lose.
Right. At least you know that. I have no idea what a tie would do for Lancashire, but I think I've got some information in front of me that might tell me that. We're going to see Ben Rain from the Brian Stay the Men. Keaton Jennings on strike. He's 25 not out. We've had 7 overs. And Rain for Durham. Right arm around the wicket to Jennings. Muscles it down towards long on for a single. Jennings up to 26. Score moves on to 88 without loss. Sean Dixon's been busy tonight. Down on the boundary in front of the media centre.
Not as busy as Alex Davis was against North End.
He was all over the place, wasn't he?
He was. Well, he's everywhere the ball went. So.
He was, yeah. Some kind of tracking device on him there. The ball just followed him around the outfield. There's Rain. Over the wicket this time. Shuffling back into his crease. Drilling it through extra cover. 4 runs for Finn Allen. 4 more to add to the total for him. 92 for no wicket. And these two are on the brink for the second time in the competition of putting on a 100 partnership. Finn Allen moves up to 59 from 24 balls. 7 fours now for him.
Remember last year it was Jennings and Davies put on 170 against Durham at the top of the order.
You enjoyed that one, Martin, didn't you? There's Rain in to Allen. That's pulled out through square leg. He's got 4 more. Beating Travaskis out on the leg side boundary. Timed it beautifully, rattled away towards the rope. Hits the old advertising board in towards where those big comfy sofas are. 96 for no wicket. Allen moves to 63, not out.
I'm not really sure what tactics to go with here, Durham. Ben Rain looks like he's slightly bowling sort of off-cutters, a little bit slower pace, off-cutters, trying to get a little bit of grip out of the surface. It's not really working. The ball seems to be sitting up and be there to be hit, really.
Rain over the wicket balls. He goes again, leg side. But this time it will be scooped up. I'm going to come back and add 2 to the total, which he does. He's up to 65, not out. 98 without lost. 2 balls left of the 8th. Finn Allen looks in the mood tonight, doesn't he?
He is. I think. Yeah, I think Potts, 2 overs for 19. He went to his Yorkers, his wide Yorkers. I think Yorkers might be the key, and you might see the Lancashire go into Yorkers quite quickly.
Rain to Allen, drilled down towards long on, Borthwick Fields.
Like that, Ben Rain's attempted Yorker there, and he got it slightly wrong. It's a low foot toss, but it just gets drilled out to long on for 1. If he bowls his cutters and they get. Yeah, they hold up in the surface. Finn Allen can either pull them out or he can try and slap them past wide cover. It gives him more options. I think he's got to be brave and look to bowl his Yorkers. Maybe off cutters at Jennings, left-handed, the ball might grip a little bit, but Finn Allen, I think he's got to go into death bowling.
Final ball of the 8th. This is swatted out through the onside by Keaton Jennings. And they come back for 2. So there's the century partnership flashing up on the board, 101. Without loss, 8 overs to put on 101 runs between Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen. 66 to Allen, 28 to Jennings. Little punch of the fist between the 2 batsmen. Perhaps a change of gloves required for Keaton Jennings. But a fabulous start with the bat for Lancashire Lightning here in Manchester. Live from Emirates Old Trafford. It is the blast fixture, the Vitality blast fixture between Lightning and Durham for a place in the quarterfinals. Potentially that could be settled for Lancashire Lightning if they beat Durham tonight and results elsewhere go in their favour. Of course, Durham know that anything other, well, a defeat for this evening would leave them cooked for the competition this year and unable to progress to the knockout stage.
Yeah, it's a shame for Durham. I think leaving it to the last and needing some wins to go to Old Trafford and go to Trent Bridge is a hell of a challenge.
Oh, this is up in the air. Cast is coming in underneath it, and Allen's gone. Eventually a wicket. Allen is caught off Borthwick for 66 after an opening stand of 101 in 8.1 overs. Well, Durham desperately needed that.
They did, and again, from our position, it looked like he got hold of it again, and it was going to go sailing 20 rows back and be dropped in the crowd, but he didn't. He didn't quite get it. He came off it a little bit, and it got held quite well in the deep from Cast. He sort of had a bit of a wobble at times where he was getting in position, but then he held a really good catch, and it's a big catch because Finn Allen was going to run away with the game. He was going to make it impossible for Durham to get back into this fixture. That wicket really changes it, but what a incredible innings that is from Finn Allen up front tonight for Lancashire. 66. He's got them off to an absolute fire. They're 101 without loss, 8.1 overs. They obviously were 101 for 1 now. But it's a hell of a start for Lancashire, and it puts a real dent in the game for Durham.
It's why you lot want to bat at the top, isn't it, really? It's where all the glory is, isn't it, in T20 cricket?
Well, I think you'll find they don't rush to the top in first-class cricket. They do in T20 cricket.
Borthwick, the batsman crossed. They could have crossed about 3 times. It was in the air that long. 1 run here for Jennings, and Alex Davies now comes in, who also has the record for the highest one-day score on this ground, which was against Durham. It was 146, I think, wasn't it?
I think it's where I went wrong in my career. I seem to have an interchanging opening partner at times when I open the batting in first-class cricket, and then obviously got moved to the middle order in one-day cricket. Probably shows my lack of ability more than anything else, I would have thought. But I was like, I could quite open the batting, but they were queuing up in there, and then we had some wonderful ball strikers, so it worked really well.
Davis on strike, chops at that one. It goes off down towards the deep backward point area.
No, I don't think Lancaster have seen the best of Alex Davis this year. He's had 1 cracking innings, but the challenge of batting at 3 is different to opening. And if he's followed some big innings, he's coming into the. So this will only benefit for Alex Davis in the future as well. Adding this repertoire to be able to come in when the field's out and play. He's a talented cricketer for Lancashire, done extremely well over the last couple of years.
Borthwick to Jennings. Jennings with a little tap out through mid-wicket for 1. That's Davies done against Durham. Oh yes, only that 170 run opening stand last year. Slipped my mind. He got 65 in that one. Borthwick again, cut by Davies out through towards the cover boundary for 1. Keaton Jennings made 108 in that partnership last year. Davies 65. Borthwick, last ball of his over coming up, 105 for 4 Lancashire, having decided to bat. Pulled by Borthwick out of deep mid-wicket to Travaskis. End of the over. So 9 gone, 106 for 1. With Allen gone, Durham have an opportunity here maybe just to rein this back in a little bit and just slow the run rate down. And
I see what you did there with Ben Rain, currently bowling, but obviously he's been taken off now. So I think they're going to go into spin, try and shut the game down as best they can. That way it's a little bit easier now with Finn Allen obviously out, Davis starting at the crease, and Jennings, he faced 26 balls. So the 2 spinners can bowl, Borthwick and Travaskis, and hopefully shut the game right down, get Durham back into the game, and hopefully pick up a few wickets for this middle period.
Travaskis then from the state of the men, left arm around on the reversal. It beats the infield, and Jennings gets 4 more down towards the hotel.
Rain's not happy, is he? I think he thought he had that one. By the way, Finn Allen has just got to 1,000 T20 runs, 28 appearances, he's averaging 41, and his highest score 92.
110 for 1 as we start the 10th over. Plays that reverse sweep well, doesn't he, Jennings?
He does. He plays spin well in general, really, really well. One of the reasons why he did so well in the subcontinent for England and was thought of again to play over there. It's his reverse sweep is a go-to, especially with the ball turning into and the ball sort of turns back onto his reverse sweep. So he'll be looking to play it a lot, I would have thought.
Travaskis, and again, he's got bat on ball. To kind of get a hold of the whole thing this time, but squirts down inside the ring. And Jennings gets a single, moves up to 36.
Before the wicket, Raymond tweeted to say this could be at least 220. And Chris said this isn't going well unless things change suddenly. A lot of records could be broken. How will that wicket change the complexion of this game? 111 for 1 now.
Yeah, Davis on strike. Is he looking out towards the leg side? Travaskis in his sunglasses in from the state of the men to Davis. Goes back and dabs the ball out towards point. Pick up and throw towards the...
Now he's trimmed the bails, eh?
He has. Direct hit, but Davis must be fine. No particular sense of urgency from the umpire, so Davis up to 3. 112 for 1. Travaskis has gone for 25 so far. Halfway into his second. Jennings waits, he'll shuffle down the pitch and then flicks it down towards short fine leg and jogs through for 1. 37 off 29, Keaton Jennings, but there's Martin and Paul were describing that Finn Allen really has been the star of the show so far, 66 from 28, but he's back in the pavilion. Davis waiting. Travascus in. It goes on the reverse, and the ball deflects off Littlebat, off somewhere on his body.
It was worth a shout actually from Travascus, because he made a right mess of that.
The leg bar has been signalled. Davis remains on 3. Score moves on to 114 for 1. So it's the final ball of the 10th at the halfway stage after this. Travascus to Jennings it will be. He just picks out the infield, and they think about one, but they send it back. That's the end of the 10th over. So Davis 3, Jennings 37, 114 for 1, halfway stage. And wicket was crucial, really, wasn't it, for Durham? It has just slowed things down, as wickets tend to do.
Yeah, wickets are crucial, and they do slow it down. And obviously, when a batter like Finn Allen is going extremely well and smacking the ball out of the ground, then you do need to get rid of him, otherwise he takes the game away. And obviously, spin can do this in the middle period. The middle period isn't as destructive as the first 6 overs. So, as we pan to the hotel, which is busy tonight.
It is again.
Borthwick bowls. This is pulled out towards deep mid wicket for 1 run by Davis.
Perfect night for the old sitting on the old balcony again, isn't it? Get the supplies in. Bit of room service again.
Yeah. It's a lot busier tonight. Every room looks really full out there. I wonder if we'll have any proposals tonight, like we did against the Lancaster game. It was a wonderful proposal went on.
Very emotional.
This is high, and it's heading towards the hotel boundary, and it's got there. 6 runs.
Lime, that's a big hit
for Jennings. And way out there in the deep is
I think it's Bryden Cars. Yeah,
and he ran a long way, but the ball just beyond him cleared the rope by about 3 or 4 yards, didn't it?
It's a really big hit by Jennings. It kept Cars interested for quite a while. He thought he had a chance, and it just sort of tailed away from him, and obviously was a little bit over his head. So in the end, it went for 6. But hell of a strike.
Yeah. Borthwick in again. This is drilled out. Oh, could be a run out here. Davis is out of his. Oh, Borthwick's missed the stumps. Davis was out of his ground. The ball came back to him from Bancroft, so it was played towards just slightly wide mid-off. Bancroft threw the ball back to Borthwick. He leapt up, but when he got the ball, he then couldn't reach the bails. He was too high off the ground. A life for Davies when he was on just 4. Borthwick 2. Jennings again, a top edge, and he's gone. Van Meekeren takes a catch at fine leg on the discs, and that is the end of Jennings for 43. So Durham starting to make a bit of progress here now. Lancashire 121 for 2 after 10.4 overs.
It's another good wicket for Durham actually to remove Jennings. He just hit a 6-2 balls earlier, but he'd be disappointed. Jennings actually, he was looking really good. He's shaking his head as he walks off. He's disappointed with the dismissal, but he's a little bit unlucky, I think, to get a top edge. The sweeps on, he plays it really well. He's unlucky it held Paul Van Meeken, as I described before, is 6'4". So to get over him at 45, he needed a little bit more on him. So it's a big wicket for Durham because it brings 2 new batters relatively to the crease, and hopefully they can get some control, like I said before, with the 2 spinners, which they are doing with Borthwick, who's got 2 for 24 off 2.4, and Travascus. But they're going to need, Lancashire might have a little bit of a rebuilding period here with Alex Davis and Villas, but it won't be for long because they're going to play some aggressive cricket. They've got quite a long batting order, and I think if Durham can get under keep Lancashire under 200, they'll be happy.
Borthwick in again, defended by Davis. It bounces back to the bowler. Are you saying Van Meekeren's now 6'4", so he's grown an inch during the game?
I said he was 6'4" before and 6'2" for, and you said 6'3" for both. So I'm waiting for you to Google it actually.
This is turned off towards square leg. Will it have not have his height on his cricket info profile, will it?
Well, they might do. He might have it on his Wikipedia, but he might have changed it himself. I think I was 6 foot on my Wikipedia. So.
Yes,
you can do whatever you want in your own Wikipedia, I'm sure. So.
A colleague who shall remain nameless once altered a Sony award-winning football commentator's Wikipedia page to suggest that he was no longer doing the job after developing an unfortunate habit of swearing on air. That was on there for a few weeks before he spotted it and changed it.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can get run away with what you are and what you do. And yeah, there's been a famous story come out recently from an ex-player of Lancashire, Adrian Shanker. There was a story.
Oh yes.
If you ever watched the movie Catch Me If You Can, well, if you lived through that, it was very much like that.
Because he went to Worcestershire as well, didn't he?
Yeah, amazingly, he did. Yes.
Yes.
Here's Cars in and bowling, and that's cut over the man at backward point down towards the wide third-man boundary. And Davis want to come charging back for a second and does.
He was the cricketing equivalent of George Weah's cousin at Southampton, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he actually did have trials at Arsenal as well. Was one of his things. A great story. It's actually been published, I think, recently. And
yeah,
there's a lot of.
It was in the Cricketer, wasn't it? Or
there is, yeah, it's like a six-part, six-parter actually. I've actually retweeted an old scorecard from a friend of mine. I'm going to sound like Jeffrey Boycott here when I played back in my day. This is how I did it. And I was batting 4 here, a game against Worcester where we got 194 for 3. And I managed to squeeze 71 off 43 balls in the middle period there. So
remember it well.
Yeah. So managed to squeeze a couple in. There's a couple of Junaid Khan, James Anderson was in that game. Young Alex, Jordan Clark, Stephen Parry.
You skipper then?
Yeah, it says captain. Yeah.
Was it you who broke Ben Stokes' finger at Durham?
It was, yes.
You hit it like a shell, and he was standing at point and tried to take the catch.
I don't know. I think he just got in a bad position.
Well, his finger did. He ended up having to go to America, to somewhere like Minneapolis or Indianapolis, to have surgery on his finger.
Speaking of which, Alex Davis is just having his thumb
strapped
up. Sunburn. It's Lancashire's physio Sunburn with the mask on.
By the way, Stokes has turned up at the International T20 tonight with a Phil Foden hairdo.
That's the next stage for you, Paul. That.
There you are.
It is, yeah. I didn't get the
actually, it's more like who was that singer? It's more Eminem, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the tattoos that make him more Eminem.
Yeah. Slim Shady.
He's pulling off well there, I reckon. Stokes, he looks really good. Maybe Scott Reed will go for that, actually.
Scott's got those glasses. Scott wanted to be a pilot, so at least he's got the aviator shades.
His cast looks like Davis is okay. Oof. Ooh, that's come off a little inside edge and has gone past his stumps down towards the boundary. He's got 4 for it. Well, that's a nice way to get back up and running after a bit of an injury intervention. A little inside edge which he didn't know a great deal about. Past his stumps and down towards the boundary for 4.
French
so Davis
cut.
Moves to 7.
French cut, old-fashioned French cut. I like this bowling change for Durham. I think Bryden Cast, the big strike bowler, getting back on here, try and take another wicket. While Lancashire have lost 2. To remove Villas, or one of Villas and Davis, would be another big step for Durham. So it's an aggressive move.
Davis in 11 now. And chopping the ball away through the offside, just in front of the umpire, towards the point boundary for a single. 12 to Alex Davis, 129 for 2. That brings Villas on strike for the first time since replacing Keaton Jennings, a Lancashire captain.
154 runs this season and an average of 19. Highest score 40 not out for Dane Villas.
He goes for his little rehearsals, gets himself set. And passes into Villas. It's full of length. He brings his bat down, just jabs it up towards mid-on where Borthwick fields, and he's up and running. Villas gets his first run. 130 for 2 brings Alex Davis back on strike. 2 balls left of the 12th. Davis looking out over his shoulder there towards the leg side boundary, where there's a couple of boundary fielders. There's a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket. Out towards the right of the screen there. Oh no, yeah. Leg side boundary, there's a fine leg, 3rd man. Extra cover as well. Forward goes Davis. Nice little punch into the offside, but Cameron Bancroft is there for Durham, and there's no run. Davis remains on 12.
I think it looks like obviously Liam Trevaskis might come at the James Anderson end and bowl these spin-overs from up there, maybe follow Borthwick after he finishes his 4th. Durham have any other options to bowl spin through this middle period?
Ned Eckersley bowled an over at Edgbaston last week.
Final ball of the 12th. Cast to Davis, just scooped up. Oh, and a pick up and throw again. It's pretty sharp towards the stumps, trying to run Dane Villas out, but the ball hit Villas somewhere.
The answer would be not really. I mean, Graham Clark, I don't think you'd throw him in to bowl some spin tonight.
Yeah, I sort of thought that, and it's probably one of the challenges Durham have faced. Obviously, the 8 overs are really key, but at someone like Old Trafford, it's really handy if you have a third option as a spin bowling option. If you can get to 10 and 12, especially if the ball coming on has been so sort of ineffective in a way, if you know what I mean. Especially, so you don't really go to too much C, and you'd like to go to some off spin or something slightly different to try and shut people down. So I suppose that's why casts come on, to obviously fill in some this end, but I suppose you haven't got it, and probably one of the challenges and wickets that have turned or might turn, a challenge maybe for the Durham lineup at the moment.
Yeah. Things have slowed a little bit though, as Borthwick's ball to Davies has played back to him via the ground. I mean, they were absolutely flying, weren't they? And they lost Allen, so they've added they've only added about 16 in the last 3 and a bit overs. So it's gone off towards point from Davis, 1 run, picked up by Beddingham.
He's bowled really well here, Scott Borthwick, from that end. Picked up 2 key wickets, only 2 wickets to fall. His leg spin's been really effective, and his leg spin's been a real, it's a real coup, especially in T20 cricket, because he's a hell of a batsman as well. So to have him bowl leg spin 4 overs and then bat where he does, it's a great asset for Durham.
This has gone off towards point for 1 for Villas. Borthwick's now got 64 wickets for Durham in T20, and in all 73. Halfway through this 13th over, cut by Davies out towards the point boundary. Travaskis fields it. 1 run. And about those comfy chairs over there earlier, Scott. The big, look like Chesterfields. Are they inflatables? Are they real?
I think they're real.
They're real, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. White Chesterfield suites.
Are they really?
This is dabbed away by Villas up towards being on 1 run. Good fielding there from Dixon, coming in quick off the boundary. The first floor of the hotel, I've stayed in there before, but the people on those rooms there, they've actually got a big patio area out in front of their rooms. They're not on a balcony. There's a huge area you can walk around, and there's tables and whatnot there, so they've got a great view. It's played by Davies off towards point again. 1 run, end of the over. 136 for 2 after 13, and I think they've sort of have like a mini bar area down there as well, so that's a nice place to be. I've stayed in that hotel once. I was on the top floor.
They're the seats.
They're the seats.
Look at that.
I reckon,
Tremendous,
I reckon you could pull a little thing out of them and they'd deflate.
I think they're
inflatable.
Yeah, they're inflatable.
I think they
well, that guy's in his swimming trunks as well. So.
Oh, yeah, they do look a bit bouncy, don't they, actually? Yeah. If one was to sit down hard, the other one would fly off.
Or if you stand up, the thing floats away over the roof of the stand.
Look nice and comfy, though. And you got the sun all day as well, haven't you, as well? Quite nice. A little whiskey.
Well, I was wrong. Travaskis is coming down at the end. We are here, that we are commentating from. But obviously he's going to bowl these overs, but he's coming back on following Bryden Cass.
136 for 2. Davies just leans into it, pushes it down the ground. Scott Borthwick up from long on to field. Davies to 17. Lancashire Lightning to 137 for 2. So Liam Travaskis from the Brian Statham end. 3rd over for him. Wicketless so far. Borthwick's picked up the 2 to fall. Phillips gets the ball through the onside up towards the edge of the 30-metre circle, and they've come back for a second. Throw comes in from Dixon, loses his cap in the process. But nicely run by Villas. Just weighted the shot, didn't he, towards the edge of the 30-metre circle, allow him to come back for a second by the time the field came up.
The key is how he plays it. He doesn't want to. He doesn't overhit it. He doesn't try and overhit it. He tries to get it to finish on the edge of the circle, like you say, into a gap on the angle, and then Alex Davies can get back for 2.
He whips the ball away through the onside. Up come those fielders on the leg side boundary again. Sean Dixon there, been busy tonight. Scoops the ball up. Villas moves up to 6. Lancashire Lightning to 140 for 2. So Davis back on strike.
I've got an observation about those chairs in that bar.
Okay. About the inflatable chairs?
Yeah.
Right. Travaskis to Davis. Leave it till the end of the over. If Davis pushes into the offside, there's no run because he's going to get through these overs pretty quickly. 140 for 2. 17 to Davis. Again, he's looking towards that big boundary out on the leg side. There's 3 fielders guarding it. Down the pitch he comes, swats the ball with not a great deal of timing. To Borthwick. He's up from the long on boundary. And he moves up to 18. 141 for 2.
Not been a bad over this, just 5 from it so far.
Yeah, it's been a really good over.
Can Travaskis get through it? Final ball of it. He's into the Lancashire captain, Dame Villas. And it's just a single. Villas coming a step down the pitch towards him and nudging it out through mid-wicket. Yeah, decent stuff from Travaskis. So if we had 14 overs gone, 142 for 2. Dame Villas on 18. So correction, Dame Villas on 7. Alex Davis on 18. Borthwick's bowled out 4 overs, 2 for 30. Travaskis has bowled 3 overs for 32.
Floaty chairs. Look at those chairs are inflatable, so they float. Look at the name of the bar.
It's the Titanic distilleries. I get you, yeah. Little floatable chairs on the Titanic.
Yeah, they are. I don't know how they look.
I hope they have a.
They look inflatable, but they look heavy to me, so I'm a bit torn. They don't look like.
You're uncertain, aren't you?
I am uncertain. I do think they are inflatable, but I think they're either pinned down or weighted down.
They'll have a compressor to blow them up. I couldn't imagine somebody doing it with a foot pump.
I can imagine Daniel Gidney just before every game, the Lancashire chief exec, just going around making sure they're all inflated okay.
Good workout.
Paul Allen, he'll be doing a bit as well. He'll get involved in that. Chappie's got naught to do. He'll do a bit as well.
I hope there is a foot pump, because you don't want to have a slow puncture over there and slowly end up into your slump down on one side as it falls up.
You start off with a nice view of the match, and halfway through you're staring at the sky.
Yeah, you're not sure how many beers you've had, and you're looking up to it, and you're not scared. So you're looking at a floodlight that's on because it's been on for an hour and a half.
This is Ben Rain into the attack from Scott's end, or is it my end?
It's your end,
It's
mate.
my end, isn't
Your
it?
end.
Yeah, sorry. It's gone for 1 off towards deep square leg.
I think the challenge Durham have is that they've bowled 7 overs of their spin. They've got 6 overs left in the game. They've only got 1 over left to spin that's used up. The spin has done really well for them. It's gone at.
Well, Rain's going to be key with his cutters here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He looks like he's taking the pace off, trying to bowl faster sort of off spin.
Here he comes, and a little ramp shot from Davis. He'd already made his mind up he was going to play that shot before I think the bowler had even released it. It's gone down to Clark, fine leg on the discs.
Birmingham Bears are 98 for 5 in the 15th over against Worcestershire Rapids. 98 for 5 in the 15th.
They've imploded, haven't they? Don't know what's gone on there. Durham did the double over them this year. Rain in, and a chop into the ground by Villas. It bobbles across towards point and is eventually collected by Beddingham. I'm around here tomorrow, Scott, so I think I might go and watch Ramy against Todmorden in a Lancashire League game.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Might be a bit too hot though. It's going to be about 26, 27 degrees. 20's plenty. In fact, a 50 job tomorrow. Rain in again, and Davis plays it to short extra cover to Bancroft, no run.
Mentioned that Birmingham Bears game because should Lancashire win, it would eliminate Durham from the knockout stage, and if Birmingham Bears lose that match, then Lancashire would qualify tonight. Durham
Well,
have got to win.
everybody would be cut adrift because Worcestershire would move on to 16 points, wouldn't they? And Lancashire would move on to 14. Rain in, slower ball, and it's carved over the top of the covers. Travaskis out on the far side on the boundary, sweeping up. 2 runs to Davis.
Yeah, Birmingham seem to have lost their way a little bit in the competition. They were off to a really good start, won a lot of cricket games, didn't they? And have had some strange sort of batting collapses and challenges in the latter stages of the competition. And if they don't get up tonight, it looks like that might be it for them for this year's T20 Blast.
Last ball of the over from Rain. Davis comes down the track, drags it into the floor, past square leg to the boundary for 1. So 15 gone, 148 for 2 here on BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Radio Newcastle.
Setting us up nicely, Lancashire. Obviously, Durham will be happy with the last couple of overs. They've managed to put the brakes on after the 2 wickets, but Lancashire are always going to go through a little period of building a little bit, and Davis and Villas both have to get into the crease, but now set up nicely. 5 overs to go, 8 wickets left in hand, 148 for 2 on the board. Lancashire will be targeting 200 plus. Durham, on the other side, will be looking at trying to keep them under 200 and more into sort of 190s to keep it less than 10s for this evening.
So at this stage, 5 overs left. If Durham keep it under 200, do you think they're happy with that?
I think they're happy from the position. They're probably not happy from where they started.
No, but from this position,
yes.
Yeah. Travascus into to Davis. That's chopped away through extra cover. The ball rolling out towards the rope, but it's picked up nicely by Graham Clark, sliding in front of that.
I think if Durham go for less than 50 or less than 10s in the last 5 overs with 8 wickets left, they'll take that. Lancashire looking to get 10s and above and get over 200. That'll be sort of the conversations.
150 up with that, by the way. At 2. Davis down the pitch, back over the bowler's head, and all the way down below us for 6. For Alex Davis off the bowling of Travascus. Little step down the pitch, bang, back up and over the bowler's head. And that nestles over the advertising board and just below the sight screen. And Davis moves up to 30 from 25 balls, his first 6. Didn't take too much encouragement to get down to Travascus, did he there, really? Skipping towards the bowler. Back in again to Davis.
Oh.
This time he bottom edges it back down the pitch and there's no run.
Pakistan 150 for none in the 15th over, and Baba Azam 83 from 47 balls, 3 6s and 8 4s.
Where's that being played tonight?
Trent Bridge. Travascus left arm around to Davis. That's played away through extra cover. Davis to 31, 157 for 2. So a big score at Trent Bridge in the T20 International. Potentially a big score here for Lancashire Lightning in the Vitality Blast. Skipper's back on strike. 2 balls left of the over. Travascus to Villas. It's muscled out towards mid-wicket. Oh, it bounces and then bursts underneath the fingers in between the legs of Sean Dixon. And down towards the boundary for 4 runs. I think he didn't quite sure. We'll look back on the replay here, whether to go forward and try and take the catch or stay back and stop it. In the end, Paul, he did neither.
He sort of didn't. It was hard. It was hit hard and flat. He wants to come in and take the catch because it's obviously Dane Villas. In the end, he needs to stop the boundary as well. He can't run in and let it go for 4. So he has to do something.
Villas to 13 now, 161 for 2. It's just eased gently away through extra cover. Bancroft Fields, end of the over, so 16 gone, 4 remain, 8 wickets in hand for Lancashire Lightning to try and get themselves a total in the region of perhaps 200. Davis on 31, Villas on 14. It's a good night for the kids inside the ground. Again, we're still with limited capacity here, unfortunately, but final group game tomorrow night again will also be limited crowds, but those who have been lucky enough to be able to get a ticket are enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the drinks and enjoying the cricket from a Lancashire point of view so far.
Lancashire were the first side to score 200 or more against Durham. There have actually been 9 occasions now and that's happened. They made 208 at Old Trafford in 2005, and in the same game Malloy became the first player to score a century against Durham. So that's their highest score against Durham, and Durham one of 4 teams to score 200 against Lancashire in a group game, 200 for 6 in 2011. Potts back into the attack now from the pavilion end, right arm over here to Villas, who drives up to long on for 1. Borthwick all the way up there, fielding it?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
163 for 2. Potts so far none for 20 from 2.1 overs. He was a bit expensive the other night against Derbyshire, went for 50.
I thought Potts has done well tonight, but first 2 overs in the power play, only going for 19.
Comes in again, that's up in the air, that might carry. Oh, it hasn't quite. Travaskis is out on the point boundary, it bounced just in front of him. He's staring back across towards the sun, and if that's not enough, he's also staring into a laser beam of a floodlight as well. But other than that, he should have really been able to come and get that one.
Probably slightly maybe put off by the way that Dixon came in, didn't get it, and then off his bowling, he was not that happy about it, so he wouldn't want to do it himself, would he?
Awkward one where he's getting it in the face as well if you don't time it right. Now this could be out. No, it's bounced just short of Borthwick and long on from Villas. It's one of those where do you go for it, risk diving in? If it doesn't go right, you get the ball in the face, or perhaps miss it and it goes out, or do you just settle for one and back off slightly?
It's hard, it all happens really quickly, and you've got to make them decisions quite quick, and it was hard for Sean Dixon. It was hit flat.
Potts to Davies, who chops hard, and that bounces high out towards the discs on the offside. Bancroft collects it, it's 1 run.
Potts is doing really well. He's using his Yorker well. He's using his change of pace, and in his mix he's not becoming predictable with what he's trying to do. He's actually having a really good evening with the ball tonight, in what is a hard conditions to bowl. He's doing really well. Hopefully he can finish off well for Durham.
Here he comes again. That's up in the air. Borthwick's coming in from the boundary at long on, and it's out. And Potts was already punching his fists in delight there as he realised Borthwick was going to get that one. And the wicket falls. Positioned himself nicely there, just had to jockey himself along the line and make sure he didn't get too close to the ropes. So Villas goes for 16. Sorry, Davies for 33.
No, it's
Villas, sorry.
Yeah, Villas.
Yeah. One of the names is very dark and the other one's quite light. So Villas has gone for 16, 166 for 3.
Quite like the little hug that Stephen Croft gave Alex Davis then. That was nice, wasn't it? That's very kind of team spirit, that wasn't it? Have a little hug when you go out. Start your innings, Paul, with a little hug.
Well, it's hugging's gone out the window, and he's.
Oh yeah, you can't hug. Don't do that again.
You can only hug people you're in a bubble with,
that's
or
very true.
Have past tests. So, and obviously your wife. So, if Stephen Croft is not hugging his wife at the moment, I'm sure he is. And I hope you're listening, Georgia. She's obviously doing really well out there. But his teammates are his next go-to for hugs, aren't they?
They are.
Not that he's he's probably seen enough of them over the 20 years he's played, Stephen Croft. But yeah, lovely hug. He's not allowed to hug me, put it that way. Not without a mask on.
Not with that shirt you're wearing, no.
Davies on strike, drives at that one. It's gone off towards deep backward point for 1. Stephen Croft got a big score against Durham, didn't he, when he opened the batting here? It was the first time he'd opened the batting for 10 years. 2019, he got 65 not out.
Doesn't open the batting too much, does he, Stephen Croft, in T20 cricket?
Well, he hadn't for 10 years. So
I can't work out why you keep coming up with these stats. You keep just saying all of Durham's poor performances and how many people have loaded up scoring runs and wickets. Is it the reverse psychology? So
no, because when Durham are batting, I'll tell you how many runs their players have scored against Lancashire.
As long as you're even, that's the main thing.
Well, people seeing themselves flashed up on the old big screen in the temporary stand, the party stand. And it is the party stand now. That'll be in full flow for the T20 International against Pakistan. Blimey, about 8,000 in there. They'll be bouncing around for that England-Pakistan game. Here's rain from the State of the Men, bowling to Davis. That's carved over point down towards the boundary. Will it reach the rope? I suspect it will. And there it goes. Flicking the boundary rope for 4, moving Lancashire Lightning onto 171 for 3. I can tell, Martin, you're poised with some fascinating stats.
Matty Potts last year, best bowling figures broken 3 times, 3 for 19 against Leicestershire, 3 for 14 against Yorkshire, and his career best 3 for 8 against Lancashire.
Fantastic.
There you are.
The research is quite something else. Rain to Davis. That's pulled behind square on the leg side. And it'll be worth 2 for Davis. So he's up to 40 from 32. Took a bit of time to get going, didn't he, Davis? But he's caught up. 40 from 32. 2 fours, 1-6, 173, 4-3. Having opened the batting for so many years for Lancashire, certainly the last 3 or 4 years, Davis at the top of the order, but having to get used to batting at 3 at the minute. Rain to Davis. Guides the ball out towards point. It'll shuffle back into his crease and picked up again by Clark. So Davis to 41, 174 for 3. Halfway into the 18th over.
Do we have Paul Van Meerken's height yet?
I looked it up, and it's not on his Wikipedia page.
Oh, do you want me to fill it in and put 6.4?
Yeah.
6'4".
Yeah, get on there and do it. Yeah.
There's Rain to Croft. It's driven through mid-off for a single. Croft off the mark with that, 175 for 3.
Cricketers who's who, they used to have their height in there,
didn't they? Yeah.
But the players,
everything they had in there.
yeah,
everything.
players very rarely ever fill their own questionnaires in for that one. So you've got some rather obscure supposed hobbies and things like that.
I think, yeah, you're right. Players didn't fill their own in; they filled each other's in.
Yeah.
At times.
Hence, it was utter nonsense in there. This is on the end. It's reached Davis on the full, and he's going to hit it on the reverse and run for it, flicking it down towards the infield behind square. So Davis moves to 42. 1 ball left of the 18th over. So 2 overs are remaining after this. So there's.
I'd say there'd be 1 for Carson, 1 for Potts to finish. I would have thought.
Yeah.
13 balls left. Lancashire hang up a big total at 176 for 3 at the minute. Croft almost waiting for this in the crease and then muscling it through the onside. Borthwick pick up and throw, and Croft with the dive in, but he's in with the dive is Stephen Croft, and he's come back for a very sharp second. He moves up to 3. 178 for 3. Croft has 3. Davis has 42. It looks like he turned quickly, Croft here. He's having to go through the gears and the full dive, but
he's got himself all dirty.
He did. And the old belly flop from Croft, wasn't it? Hit the dirt, but safely home. So 2 overs remain. 178 for 3.
Somebody
Davis
wearing
42.
a fez in the crowd there. What football top's he got on?
It's a great fez, isn't it? I mean, that's tremendous.
It's red and white stripes, but it doesn't look like a Sunderland top. A few beers being imbibed in the evening sunshine. Potts then to finish off. 1 for 24 from 3 so far for him. Right arm over from the pavilion end, and that's driven, and Borthwick's off the pitch and watching that go. Oh, we've got a catch in the crowd at last. Well done.
Great
Good
catch
effort.
that in the crowd.
6 rows back at the front of the point.
Here we go. It's gone high, hasn't it? In towards the stand. Who's under it? Good take.
There we are.
Look at that. Easy beans.
Throw it
No
back.
worries. Well
Here he
done,
is.
sir. Look at that. All in a day's work. It's going to sanitise the ball now. Next time, drop it.
Borthwick's just standing beyond the boundary rope at the moment, asking, where do you want me? And I think if there's going to be another one of those, probably row 7. Picked that up well, didn't he, Davies? And he's gone to 48 as well.
He did.
2 6s, 2 4s.
He missed his length there, didn't he? Potts, he didn't get it full enough looking for his Yorker. It became a length ball, and Davis, hell of a strike. Dispatched over long on for 6.
Potts in again then. How will he respond? He's swept. It's a sweep slog out towards the deep mid-wicket. It bounces safely. He'll get 2.
50.
And that's his 50 in 36 balls.
Well battered, Alex Davis. Half century for him. 2 4s, 2 6s. Clearly a different, having to adjust, Paul, isn't it? I mean,
13th time he's got to 50.
Mentioned batting at the top and then batting at 3. You might not come into bat when during a power play. Just change your approach, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's not a huge adjustment because normally you're in a power play.
Batsman's come down the track there, and Potts has targeted it just wide of off stump, just to bowl it away from him. He's played and missed.
But Finn Allen and Keaton Jennings have had some longer partnerships. They've had some partnerships that lasted out of the power plays. Alex Davis had to start quite a few of his recent innings in the middle period, and it's slightly different. And as you can see, he's got going and played really well tonight and found his tempo. And then, you know, a 36 ball 50 for the middle period is wonderful for Lancashire, taking them up over 200, I think.
Potts bowls, that's up in the air, and it's going to land safely, and it's gone for 4. Wow. Well, he's driven that. He's attempted Yorker around about off stump. He's met it just before it bounced. He's driven it over the fielders on the discs and way out towards the covered boundary for 4. It was a really powerful shot, that.
Hell of a strike. It looked like he was down to play that slug sweeper game, but it was wide on him, and he ended up going over cover. And I didn't think he got anything of it, and Travascus gave it up really early, and it won't bounce for 4. It was a hell of a strike over wide
lesson
cover
in physics and kinetic energy, I think. Yeah. Potts bowls, it's a shortish one, it's lobbed up. Bancroft's chasing after it, it's gone over him, and Travascus coming around on that cover boundary will sweep up. That's 2. Van Meekeren has only bowled the 1 over tonight. He went for 15 earlier on, but you'd imagine Carse will bowl the death over. So Travascus none for 46 from 4, Borthwick 2 for 30 from 4, Rain none for 31 from 3, Van Meekeren none for 15 from 1. 1 ball left for Potts, 1 for 38. And on strike now Davies, who is on 56. From the pavilion end for the last time. Driven up towards Borthwick, he should be underneath it, and he is, and that's the end of Davies. Caught on the boundary at long on, and he has gone for 56, 192 for 4.
Decent enough catch, that wasn't it, by Borthwick? Gave a little look over his shoulder. Must have got a few words from the Lancashire supporters.
Yeah, I think the guy in the green who took the catch previously said, you know, don't drop it like I didn't. And he was just checking, I think, where the rope was, just to get a bit of a bearing where he was. The ball got big on him in the end, and he took a really comfortable catch and made it look easy. But he was just, I think, double checking where the rope was initially to find he wasn't too close to it, and stepped back. So great innings from Alex Davis.
Yeah.
Great 50 through the middle period to follow Finn Allen's fireworks at the top, obviously, which was well supported by Keaton Jennings, who played really well. I really think that partnership is starting to flourish, that left hand, right hand of Finn Allen and Keaton at the top there. Jennings is a really good understanding of the game. He knows when to be positive and when to give it over to Allen. I think they're working really well together. That partnership's coming good at a really good time.
Rain will bowl the final over. This is moulded out towards the onside and caught out in the deep. Stephen Croft departs, caught out at deep mid-wicket.
Travascus.
The catch from Liam Travascus, swatted away by Croft. Looking right down at that as well, but looking into the sunlight. Good catch. Lancashire lose a wicket. First ball of the final over. Croft out for 3. 5 down now, 192 for 5.
It's already a monumental task from a Durham point of view. They're going to be chasing around 200 here, but from where Lancashire were at the turn, 114 for 1.
Rain with his first wicket. Batsman cross. Rob Jones on strike, looking to try and reverse hit it, but through to the keeper, and there's no run. Luke Wells, by the way, the new batsman, the non-striker's end, but it's Jones on strike now. Looking for his first run. Got 4 balls left of the innings. Rain.
They'll be quite happy with this finish, I think. I think Durham, obviously, a couple of wickets, and if they can keep it to sort of under 200, I think they'll be happy with what we said with their finish.
192 for 5 with 4 balls left. Rain to Jones. Banged in short. Jones just trying to get bat on ball and send it out towards the onside, but it's a dot ball. 3 balls left.
Slightly wide, that delivery to me. I think he was high and wide. I think sometimes you get away with them down the leg side when they are high. But it's a dot ball. Another dot ball on this final over, which has been a really good one for Ben Rain.
Yeah, that's it. Wicket, dot and dot so far. 3 balls left of it. Jones waits for it, uppercuts it over the Clark at backward point. Won't reach the rope, it'll hit the ground and be scooped up eventually by Clark. They might run 3, they have. They've come back for a 3, so Jones off the mark with that, eventually getting bat and ball and clearing the infield.
If they can get another 5 on the board, then take it to 200. It'd be the 10th time that Durham have conceded 200 in the T20, and the 2nd time to Lancashire.
2 balls left to try and get 5 more runs to equal that. Conversation here between Scott Borthwick and Ben Rain.
I wouldn't have thought there'd be too many times at Old Trafford 200 has been posted and chased. I think they'd be very surprised. Be quite a small number. I don't think 200 has been hit too many times.
Durham have only scored 200 chasing once, so
the odds are against them.
Ben Rain to Luke Wells. Up onto his toes, and he swatted that one down towards long on. He'll come back in 1 second. He's got big long legs as Wells. Has he made it? He has. Full length dive from Luke Wells, getting him back for a second. He sent it down towards the long on boundary, through the first quickly, turned, no hesitation, wanted to, striding towards it, and with the dive safely in.
In fact, they haven't scored 200 batting second. Their highest, 199 of the 8 games where they've scored 200. They were all when they batted first. So they made 199 to beat Northampton Chester Street in 2014.
Well, this is the final ball of the innings. 197 for 5 it is. Rain around the wicket, full of length, and driven down the ground. They'll come back for a second. Jones running towards the bowler's end, Wells towards the keeper's end, and they have made it for 2. So Lancashire haven't got to 200, but Durham will have to get to 200 to win the game. 199 for 5 is what Lancashire Lightning have finished on. Wells and Jones able to squeeze out 7 runs off those final 3 balls of the final over. Jones on 3, Wells on 4, 199 for 5. So 200 will win it for Durham, Paul, and that would be, if we get somewhere near, a mighty fine run chase.
Yes, and like anything, rules are, records are, made to be broken, aren't they? What a night it would be for Durham. It needs to come at a good time. To stay in this competition, they need to chase 200, they need to do it, and to win a game of cricket. And it can happen. Someone at the top of the order for Durham needs to get going, like Finn Allen did for the Lancashire side. But I thought Finn Allen, the top 3 for Lancashire, played really well. Took the game away for them. 66, 43 for Keaton Jennings, Alex Davis. 56, that's where the bulk of the runs came from, and that's where the game was won and set up.
Excellent, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Martin. For those on the BBC Sport website, that we'll natural wager in the interval. But the chase for Durham to win the game. If Lancashire can defend it, and if Birmingham Bears beat Worcestershire, then Lancashire are into the quarterfinals of the Blast. Lancashire finish on 199 for 5, so 200 will win it for Durham.
So much to look forward to when it comes to the 100 coming up in just a few days' time now. And of course, we'll be speaking to Kate Cross, who's the Manchester Originals captain, in just a moment or two. It is a special occasion for all people here under these, still glorious skies, if I found myself a little bit of shade here by the C stand at Emirates Old Trafford. And for one person in particular, it's a very special day because usually a very special junior member will have the opportunity to go out and play part in the ceremonial toss at the beginning of the game. But of course, because of COVID restrictions, we're unable to do that. So it is with great honour that I tell you about Sorka Box, who is the junior member today, who gets the opportunity to not go out into the middle, but is still selected from many, many, many junior members who, if you look at this lovely little scene, is being presented a very nice goodie bag by Lanky. So Lanky is giving Sorka Box, who is our junior member, bestowed upon her many, many gifts. And here is Lanky with the opportunity to say hello and welcome her to Emirates Old Trafford. And she's going to give us a little wave to say hello. And as we witness those wonderful scenes, let's remind you how the Lancashire Lightning set Durham 200 to win this North Group game in the Vitality Blast. Well, welcome back to the Boundary Edge here on Lancashire Cricket TV. It is a cool 200, easy to remember for Durham to chase to win this one. And as we've been saying all along, it is pivotal for them to try and get this win for them to get themselves a quarter-final spot. But for Lancashire Lightning, Kate Cross, it is crucial that they do exactly the same thing. And after that batting performance, they'll feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd want to take, I mean, you'd take 199 at the halfway mark. I think they'd have loved to have got over 200 with the start that they had with Finn Allen and Keaton Jennings at the top, but I thought Lancashire batted really well there. You know, it's a good pitch. They'll be aware of that going into the second innings as well. They're going to have to bowl well to defend it. But they've done the first half, which is what they'll be saying to themselves in the dressing room right now.
Finn Allen, that was the equal second fastest T20 half century for Lancashire.
Okay.
I think I needed to write that down.
Yeah.
I think I remembered it correctly. Of just 21 deliveries, only Joss Butler off 20 has gone quicker than that. 66, exactly like the Northants game a week ago, but he did it in 9 fewer balls. He is settling into this task.
He is, and I was speaking to someone earlier and they said he's had an okay season, and I think it's a bit harsh. You know, he's got a tough job at the top of the order because you're always expecting your openers to go out there and blitz it from the beginning. And him and Keaton, I thought, like I said, they batted really well at the top. But yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? He's kind of come from nowhere. He got that IPL gig with RCB, having, I think, smashed it in the Super Smash in New Zealand, and then now he's flying around the world playing cricket. So he's an incredible talent, and I think we're very lucky to have him here.
Yeah, some of those sixes he struck, those long levers that he's got, you kind of imagine them going even further as he gets more and more experience in the game. What about Alex Davis, who's had a difficult season? He started off with just far too many ducks in a row, if you'll pardon the pun. But then, of course, he got himself that 83 against Derbyshire. And this is only the second half century he's got, so he'll be absolutely delighted because you know what he's like when he's frustrated. He gets really annoyed.
Yeah, I felt a bit for Alex Davis, actually, because he's normally used to opening the batting. And I think with Finn coming in and then when we've got Liam Livingston back, obviously Liam opens the batting. So he's kind of been shuffled around the order a little bit, and I think it might unsettle him batting at 3, and he's obviously not had his most successful season batting at 3. However, I thought he played a great hand again tonight. You know, he came out and supported Keaton, who was out there with him. So, yeah, I'm pleased that he's got some runs, and I think that innings would have been really important for him if they get through and, you know, go into those latter stages of the tournament.
Yeah, it's a brutal start. The 100 came up after just 8 overs. Durham are going to need to start in the same way, aren't they, to try and get this 200?
Yeah, they are. But the way that Keaton and Finn batted early, they made it look so easy to score runs. And like I said, Lancashire will be very aware of that. I think the pace bowlers looked better when they took pace off. So I think our Lancashire bowling unit will have learnt from that as well, and they'll probably take that into this innings.
Well, Worcestershire chasing 170 to win their game, and if they do so and Lancashire win this one, then it is the Lightning who are through to the last 8 of the Vitality Blast. Kate, for now, thank you very much indeed. We've got some cricket returning, the umpires and the teams coming back on.
That's fine, Paul. You go and enjoy the rest of the evening. It's no problem whatsoever.
Was he here hosting a few friends?
He's here hosting a few friends, I think.
So is it his turn to go to the bar round about now, which it's going to be a £5 a pint, isn't it?
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's going to be quite costly, isn't it?
Yeah, he's good for it, though.
He's probably better off staying here.
Yeah. It'll lead into all my BBC fee tonight, won't it? If I go to the bar now,
all of it.
Yeah.
So maybe I should hang around and do a couple of overs if just to start the innings off, and then I'll move on and let Kate Cross come in. She's going to come upstairs, isn't she? And
no worries. You stay as long as you want. 2 batsmen are on the way out, and Lancashire in their little huddle down below us here. So 200 the target to win the game. Plenty of pats on the back from the Lancashire players. I think all of them got their sunglasses on a bright sunny evening, or most of them have got their sunglasses on, and they're all just to get themselves set. 200. Blimey, we're in for a good night. If Durham can take this deep and get somewhere near, if they're going to win it, it'd be a fabulous run chase. It's a lot of runs to get from 120 balls, but
their best run chase.
Well, there we go. It would be their best.
David Beddingham is due some runs in this format. He started off well in the competition, but he's had a couple of ducks and a few 1s and 2s in recent weeks. Graham Clark still looking for his first 50 in the tournament this season. And Tom Hartley going to open the bowling.
He is, yeah, from the Anderson end. It's all left-arm spinner for Lancashire Lightning. So Scott Borthwick and Liam Travaskis bowling their allotted 4 overs. Lancashire's spinners this evening, of course, without Parkinson, who's playing for England. Fronted and led by this man, Hartley in, bowling to Beddingham. And the first runs on the board for Durham. Out towards deep mid-wicket for a single.
He's got 16 wickets in T20. Best figures 4 for 16 this year against Worcestershire. He's taken 10 wickets so far this season.
In and bowling to Clark. He's off the back foot and pushing it back down the pitch. Gathered by Hartley off his own bowling. No run. Fellas keeping wicket, crouching down. Hartley in. A little step to the leg side and able to work it out through the wide mid-on region, but just for a single.
Worrying for Lancashire. It doesn't look like to be any Finn Allen out.
Yeah, it's Liam Hurt, isn't it?
Fielding. Blatherwick is on the field.
Blatherwick, sorry, yeah.
At fielding, short third man.
This is worked out towards Hurt, kind of long on. It's in between Hurt and Davis. Oh, he's picked the gap out beautifully, actually. 4 runs, lovely shot. Flick out through the onside for 4. It was Liam Hurt and Alex Davis out on that leg side boundary, right in between the pair of them.
Timed superbly, yeah, but obviously with a sub-fielder on, it looks like Finn Allen is the player that's not on, so hoping he's okay after his innings. It will be a blow for Lancashire to lose him.
It would, yeah. Good spot, Blatherwick number 4, short third, balls heading his direction now, takes a little tumbling stop inside the circle.
Good name that, Jack Blatherwick.
It's a belter, isn't it?
That's as Lancashire as they come.
Final ball of the first over. Clark waits. Hartley bowls. And that's worked off the pads. This time it will be Liam Hurt who gets across the ground and cuts the ball off, sliding down, stopping it. Clark comes back though for a second. So at the end of the first over, 9 off it. So Clark 3, Beddingham on 6, 1 over gone. Durham is 9 without loss, a target of 200.
Durham are ahead.
Lancashire.
Really good start for Durham. Obviously, the spin is a big play for Lancashire. I'm surprised it wasn't Stephen Croft, and it was a left arm spin of Hartley, but a really good option, really good exposure for him. To get 9 at first over is a really good start, but Durham need to make a big dent in this total in the power play. Yeah, Lancashire were after the power play 75, were they? Was it the Lancashire's power play?
Yeah.
75, yeah. So yeah, Durham need to be there or thereabouts. They're not, 60 or so in the power play is a really good power play, but when you're chasing 10 and over, it's a challenge to go, and the other 14 over. So Durham needs to make as big a dent in this total as Lancashire did up front. So if they're going to achieve their 200 for the first time chasing.
Luke Wood left arm over, and this is drilled past point by Beddingham for 4. Former Notts man who had 5 years at Notts, spent a season on loan at, or part of 2019 on loan at Northants as well. Short cropped blonde hair. Durham move on to 13 for none after 1.1 overs.
I think what you've seen tonight, it's a really good surface out there. The opening batters are just standing and delivering. To get 200, it has to be a good surface, but this new ball, white ball, is really coming on with it, with the seam bowling up front.
Wood again to Beddingham. He clatters that one down into the ground, and it's away past third man on the discs for 4 more to the point boundary. I think backs up what Paul's just said about how quick the surface is.
He's a bit unlucky there, Luke Wood. It was a good ball. Beddingham tried to crunch it through the covers. He actually got the toe end of the bat and went fine past the short third man for 4. So it actually fortune favours the brave. Luke Wood's going to, I think, potentially going to change his attack and come around the wicket. With the field he's got set with a deep backward square and a deep mid wicket, he wants to be trying to run the ball into leg stump, not from his left arm with the the ball not swinging back, pushing it across. So he's going to try and attack the stumps from around the wicket, bowl to the 2 guys out on the leg side.
7 wickets this year in this format as he bowls, and this is pushed short on the leg side up to mid-on in the end. And Clark and Wood sort of got in each other's way as Clark was trying to get to the batsman's end. 18 for none here on BBC Radio Lancashire, BBC Newcastle. I mentioned a red and white shirt in the crowd earlier. Simon B's been on. He says that red and white football shirt is the Oldham Athletic 1992 to 1994 away kit, an absolute classic in Latics circles at least. It's a reverse Ajax, he says. Well, there you are. And the fact that they had an away shirt for 2 years rather than 1. Wood in, short one, down there, sort of crosses the angle of the batsman. Looks like it was going slightly down the leg side. Clark just watched it go through.
Good straight bouncer from around the wicket. Really good one from Luke Wood there. Straight and fast and around the wicket and followed the batter. Well played by Clark in the end, but it's a good dot ball. It's a good option with your deep backward square and a deep mid wicket. He wants to run the ball in. It's a really good option.
England are chasing 233 to beat Pakistan. They're currently at odds of about 22 to 1 or something like that. And this is played by Clark up to Blatherwick, mid on, no run there. The CricViz analyst, 1 run there. The CricViz analyst, winning Viz at the innings break. England 21%, Pakistan 79. So could be quite an interesting evening there at Trent Bridge. Depends where that silly boundary is.
I just had a text actually saying I need to get to the bar, so this will be my last my last ball, and I will
pray for Paul.
Let Kate Cross come in and.
Yeah.
And enlighten proceedings, brighten up the commentary box here.
Wood in, that's gone down the leg side, that's a wide, signalled by Michael Gough. Turns towards us.
That wasn't my last ball.
To wait to get that round in.
Yeah,
keep your wallet in your pocket.
Get it, yeah. It's been a really good start actually from Durham. Giving themselves a chance. Obviously Beddingham the key at the top. Manny's got a lot of runs this year. And Ben Rain, if gets going, I've seen Ben Rain playing some incredibly destructive innings at Leicester.
Did you see him get his 100 at Edgbaston?
I did.
Yeah. Wood, that's angled down towards the leg side, thumps off the pad. Ball rolls out towards square leg. A leg bye is signalled. 2 overs gone, and Durham are 21 for none. Lancashire was 16 at that point, but then they had some pretty good overs to follow. 15 and a 14.
Well, that's me for this evening, lads. I'll leave
Well done, Paul.
It's been a pleasure.
That's a good knock.
Thank you very much. Predictions are Durham 175, all out.
All out?
Well, you've left on a bombshell for Durham there, and you've left Lancashire fans delighted.
Well, if Durham are 5 down, they probably want to go somewhere if they're going to try and win a game. So I'm going to predict an all out if they're going to try and chase 200. So 175 all out and 6'4" for Paul Van Meerkamp.
Okay.
Good evening.
Thank you, Paul. Here's Liam Hurt from the Jimmy Anderson end, replacing Hartley. First delivery, spears in, but down the leg side, and taken by Dane Villas. A wide signal first up from the bowling of Liam Hurt.
Everybody hurt.
Oh dear.
Had that on in the car today.
But that was a cheerful drive down for you.
3 wickets this season for Liam Hurt. Do you not like REM?
No, absolutely. I've seen him here, actually. I saw him at Old Trafford years ago.
What, 95, was it?
No, not going that far back, no. Hurt in, bowling.
Whoa!
Oh, Bellingham takes it on. And sends it out towards the, I think, somewhere in the car park, towards a temporary stand, between the gap between the two stands. Gone for 6. Moves up to...
well, that was effortless.
21. Score moves on to 28 without loss. Yeah, there we go. Just take it off the pads, flick it up towards deep backward square leg, and the ball disappears. Never to be seen again.
We went in 1995. We went across to Dublin to see Sunderland on a pre-season tour, and they played St Patrick's Athletic on the Friday night. And then we discovered on the Saturday, which was my dad's 50th birthday, REM were playing up the road at Slane Castle. So we managed to go up there and get some tickets. There were 70,000 people there that night. It's one of the best gigs I've seen. There was some young up-and-coming band called Oasis. They were on. I'd never heard of them. I don't know whatever happened to them, but I don't think they made it. I think they were from the Manchester area.
I think they may have been, yeah.
What a beautiful setting that was, in the hillside with the castle at the bottom and the River Boyne bending around the back of the stage. Gorgeous.
Yeah, sounds very nice. Like I'm almost there.
Yeah.
Bellingham goes big again, up towards the long-on boundary.
Not sure where that bounced there. Was it inside?
I think just this side, yeah.
It's just plugged, hasn't it?
4 runs he's got for it, so 6 behind square on the leg side, and that thumped over.
Get after that.
Mid-on, 1 bounce, and into the advertising board. To 10 off the last 2 balls, 32 without loss. Bellingham's been in great form, hasn't he?
Well, he's had a couple of good knocks at the start of this tournament, and then has really struggled. He's had a couple of ducks and some very low scores.
He's had a good year, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had a brilliant year.
But full of length from Liam Hurt, and he digs it out. Squirts up to mid-on. And Hartley fields. So Bellingham moves to 26.
He's a leading run maker in the county championship. His matches so recently in this format. Got none against Derbyshire last week. 1 against Leicestershire, 4 against Northants, and 3 against Warwickshire. He did have a 44 against Worcestershire and a 58 against Lancashire, and Durham's win in Chesley Street.
It's Hurt with a wicket and bowling to Clark. That's muscled away, but gathered by Luke Wells just inside the 30-metre circle. So dot ball, the first one of the over. Started with a wide, and then a 6, then a 4, then a 1. And a dot. 33 for no wicket. Hurt, who featured against Northamptonshire last week. It was his first appearance of the season. Finished with 3 for 22. Into Clark, clipped up towards mid-on. Gets through for a single. And, score moves on to 34 without loss. Okay, crosses here.
I watched, you mentioned Luke Wells there, reminded of 2017 on a red-hot week at Sussex. He made 258 in a championship match against Durham. Absolutely took them around the park. Career best total for him.
Final ball of the 3rd over. Coming up, Hurt in and bowling. And again, Bellingham going for a big shot, but that's slashed out towards deep square leg where Alex Davis fields. end of the over. So we've had 35 without loss. Bellingham on 27, Clark on 5, 3 overs gone, 35 without loss. Paul Horton's left us, and Kate Cross. Hello.
Evening, everyone. How are you?
Okay. Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good.
Very well.
Some fireworks with a bat from Lancashire before.
Looks a good pitch, doesn't it? Just looks so easy out there.
It's a big, whopping total of 200 to chase.
It's endless pressure, isn't it? That's the thing. It's over after over after over, churning out 10 runs and over. But a good start from a Durham point of view, though, and a hot night as well. The breeze has actually eased a little bit, not as stiff westerly as it was earlier, as we have a new over here, and that's driven down the ground. 1 bounce for 4. So Danny Lamb into the game. Welcome to the match. Bang, straight back over his head from Bellingham and away. Just 1 bounce and across the ropes. You were down there earlier doing the pre-match stuff, and hot, wasn't it, in the middle?
Yeah, it's been. I've actually got a very burnt forehead today. I'm hoping you've both not noticed.
Comes the bowler again. Slower ball, higher this time, and that should be 6. It's hit the concrete down below us. Well, this is canny from a Durham perspective. He's just lofted that straight back over the bowler, and it's come in and hit the wall down below us. So there's your 10 for this over.
I think that shot just goes to show how good this pitch is. Danny Lamb's taken the pace off from the ball before, which again wasn't a bad delivery, and he's taken a bit of pace off there, and he's still managed to check his drive and get through the shot and hit over the rope for 6.
Bellingham has 37 from 13 balls. He whips this one past square leg. It's heading off towards the boundary. It's being chased by Blatherwick. It's going to run 2. They're coming back for a 3rd. So he's on 40 from 14 balls, 5 4s and 2 6s.
Great little knotless, isn't it?
So you had a busy few weeks then?
Yeah, very busy few weeks. We've actually
Enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been incredible. It's always obviously incredible to be part of a series win with England. But yeah, a very special one-day series for me as well, which is nice to come out of saying for once.
Lamb again, bowls. And this is up in the air, and this is from Clark down towards the boundary below us. I can't see where the rope is. I think they've kept it in just.
Jennings.
There's an overhang with a camera gantry below us, so the rope is somewhere down below that. 2 runs. And the 50 up for Durham in 3.4 overs. Wowzers. It was 4.1 for Lancashire. Lamb bowls. It's a full toss. It's pulled out through towards cow corner by Clark. There's a man out there. They're going to come back for 2. It's fielded down to our right-hand side by Rob Jones.
Well, they've had to come out like a train here, haven't they, Durham?
Yeah.
Fair play to them, they have. Belting start.
I think from a Lancashire point of view, it's about keeping Bellingham off strike now, trying to starve him of that strike, give a little bit of it to Clark, but I think from a Durham point of view, keep him on strike, keep it going. They're doing incredible to keep up with the rate at this stage, which is exactly what they needed to get off to that good start, to take that pressure off the middle order later on in the game.
17 runs off this over, and there's still a ball to go. The previous over from Hurt went for 14. Clark is on strike, 9 from 9, and he drives straight back past the bowler, and it's cut off down below us by Wood. 1 run. So that means Clark will keep strike. 53 for none after 4.
So how badly have you burnt your forehead then?
Well, you tell me.
It doesn't look too bad. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, you have.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah,
so we've played some warm-up games for the 100 today. Played 2 games, and you're constantly taking your hat on and off, aren't you? And I think the sun cream rubbed off with the hat. It's a schoolboy error, really. I've played enough cricket to know that that's the way it goes.
Yeah. No sympathy for you.
No. But at least the sun's out to catch it.
That's a start,
That's the positive, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit on the top of the forehead there, Kate. Get that moisturised later on.
It's the same colour as this microphone.
How did practice for the 100 go? How was that then?
It was good, actually. All our overseas have landed now. So Harmanpreet came up from the India series, and Lizelle and Mignon, our 2 South African recruits, joined last night. They did their quarantine over in Croatia, in Dubrovnik.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so they did 10
Can you
days
choose where
there.
to do your... That's nice, isn't it?
Where can you pick on the globe?
I think I'll do mine in Barbados.
Luke Wood coming back into the attack from the Anderson end, left arm around, swatted away through the onside out towards Lanky. Needs to watch out on the boundary rope. 4 runs for Clark, and the score moves on to 57 without loss. Clark on to 10 into the 5th over here at Emirates Old Trafford. Glorious evening, Vitality Blast fixture going towards the business end, right at the back end of the group stage, where qualification for the quarterfinals could be secured tonight. Elimination could also happen this evening as well. Sounds quite dramatic, doesn't it? Here's Wood in to Clark once more, muscled out through the onside. This will be cut off though by Luke Wells. They'll come back for a second. Clark moves up to 16.59 without loss. So did you manage to get across all the different kind of rule changes? 5 ball, not overs, blocks?
No overs. No, five balls, 10 at each end, 10 times.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
I thought the original plan was there wasn't going to be a limit on how many can be bowled in succession from either end.
You can bowl 10 as a bowler,
right,
and that can be from either end.
Right.
Here's Wood to Clark. That's short and pulled. Backward square leg, 1 bounce into the advertising board, and 4 more runs. Good start for Durham continues halfway into the 5th over, 63 without loss. And Clark, having watched Bellingham kind of bash it around Old Trafford, fancies joining in himself as well. He's up to 20 now from 13.
Is that a maximum of 10 in the game?
20 per bowler.
Right.
So so you basically have 5 bowlers who can bowl 20 balls, but you can bowl 10 consecutively.
Right.
And you could bowl 5 from this end and 5 from that end if you needed to.
Right.
Here's Wood in to Clark. It's a flick down towards short, fine leg Lamb with a pick up and throw. And I've got through for a single.
It's not coming anywhere near us, so I don't need to worry myself about it. So
it's not heading to the northeast.
Headingley's 96 miles away, so I don't envisage busloads of people from Chesley Street heading down the A1 to watch that.
You never know.
No,
You
I think I
never know.
do, though.
2 balls left of the 5th. Bellingham on 40 from 14. And it's Luke Wood from the James Anderson end. Gone for 22 so far. In and balls, and a step to the leg side by Bellingham. Drag the ball out towards square leg. And gets through for 1, so 41 to hit. 65 without loss, with 1 ball left of the 5th over.
There really does seem to be the tiniest margin for error on this pitch, doesn't there? The ball that went down through backward square for 4, he got his line just ever so slightly wrong, a little bit too straight, and it's just so easy to score tonight.
Batsmen have cashed in this evening. Finn Allen 63, Keaton Jennings 43, Alex Davies 56, and now Bellingham on 41. And Clark, who's on strike on 21, looking to add to it, up onto his toes, trying to force the ball away through the offside. But there's a ring of red Lancashire shirts, of which one of them was Croft. And the muscly Stephen Croft is there to field. No run, end of the 5th, 65 on the board. So the equation is 135 to win off 90, with all 10 wickets intact for Durham. Had to make a good start, had to have a good power play, and there's 1 over left of it, and it's been a good
1 run in
power
it
play.
as well, by the way. 64 Lancashire after 5 overs to Durham 65, so...
I think when you have those evenings where you concede 199 runs, you always go into the dressing room knowing that it can be done, that those runs can get scored, and it looked particularly easy for for Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen to hit boundaries tonight. So I think that's always in the back of your mind as a chasing team, that if you've got a set batter throughout most of the innings, it could be quite easily done.
Well, it's 7 years since Durham last chased down anything near this, and that was at Chesley Street. A new over from the media centre end. That's cut for 4 off Hartley by Bellingham. It was, I think it was the final group game, and neither Durham nor Northants could go anywhere that night. Durham chased 199, and John Hastings came out to bat and just let loose. Hit a 19-ball 50. So they've not actually chased 200 before, so... This is turned by Bellingham towards square leg. Throw towards the bowler's end. Picked up by Hartley, no run there. So if they're going to pull it off, it will be quite momentous, and more than anything, it will keep them in the competition still as well. Hartley left arm round Oh, through his hands, or just slightly over his hands and away for 4. Clark coming down the track at him there. Did he get near that, do you think, or not? Let's see how close this was. Yeah, it was over him, wasn't it?
I think if he had got near it, I think it was hit too powerfully for him to have got much on it. I think he might have got a hand to it and maybe slowed it down a little bit, but that looked like it was 4 the second it came off the bat.
9 already from this over in 3 deliveries. Clark is on 25. Plays this one up towards long on. Davies comes in and collects it. The white towel hanging out of his right pocket. And it's a direct hit of the stumps at the wicket-keeper's end. Clark's now repositioning them.
I thought that was well bowled from Hartley, actually. The first ball of the over was just the 4th stump line, and it again just goes to show how good this pitch is, but you could just cut that away for 4. And he's followed in there. Clark went to the leg side and he managed to follow him and dart it in at him and forced him to hit the ball to those 1 of 2 sweepers out there. You got the long on and the deep cow.
Round the wicket he comes to Beddingham. Beddingham pulls it out towards deep mid-wicket, and there's a fielder out there. Just going to be the 1 run. It's picked up by Rob Jones with his back to the inflatable 3-piece suites.
Actually, you've been on them suites, haven't you? You've sat on them.
A couple of times, yeah.
So they are inflatable, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, an edge. Oh, doesn't quite carry towards the discs. 3rd man on the discs, diving forward to try and meet. That was Danny Lamb. It's gone underneath him. They run 2. A little bit of a scare for Clark there. So 6 overs gone, the power play. Durham 78 and Lancashire was 75. There's nothing in it.
Well, it's a belter, isn't it? 6 over power play dons. That is terrific from Durham. Great effort. Chasing 200 and you come out and knock off 78 in the power play without a wicket lost. Superb. Great start. Well, we could be in for an absolute stonker here, couldn't we?
Yeah, we absolutely could. I think the Lancashire contingent will know that a couple of wickets here will change things. It'll just slow that momentum down slightly. Obviously, Beddingham's the wicket to have here, but yeah, they've batted really well here in this power play. They've exploited that bad ball. And there's not been many of them from the Lancashire team, I must admit, but they've got hold of it when it was there.
Playing the part of Matt Parkinson this evening will be Luke Wells. Who's into the attack. Straight after the power play in the Parkinson role. He's in and bowling. Beddingham just getting in behind it and just dabbing the ball out into the offside, where the tall figure of Keaton Jennings is lurking at extra cover. And there's no run. So there's a long off, there's a long on, there's a deep mid-wicket, a deep backward square leg and deep extra cover. Wells in, again, up onto the toes goes Beddingham. Able to weave it away through extra cover. Jones comes up from the boundary to field. 48 to David Beddingham. 79 without loss. Now Durham into the 7th over. Wells, a leg spinner, in towards us. Muscled out through mid-wicket. Where's that gone?
Into the scoreboard.
It's gone for 6. Well, I completely lost it. It's heading in towards the general direction of the scoreboard. We'll see back on the replay here. Absolutely mullered that one, didn't it? Over mid-wicket, over the rope, and that's disappeared for a monster hit for 6. 34 to Clark.
Has that gone through the gap between the stands? I think it might have done, you know.
Spectators ducking out the way. Watch your beer, sir. Don't lose that. It's £5 a pint.
Needs filling up, that one. Again, though, not a bad ball from Wells. There was a little bit of turn on it as well, and Clark just managed to pick that up so easily. I think that was something that I noticed about the first innings with Lancashire, that even when the field spread out of power play, it seemed easy to score boundaries. You know, it seemed easy to hit 6s.
Wells, I'm surprised Wells he's only played 10 matches in this format.
What, in his career?
Yeah.
Oh.
Would have thought he'd have played more than that.
Yeah. We need to have the balls. Do we need a new ball?
We need the ball repairing.
Oh, right, okay. A bit of a sanitising, repairing.
Going to change it? No, they're not. They're happy with it.
Well, that was a monster hit by Clark. He's 34 off 19, 3 4s and a 6. Saying, well, quite fancy taking you on. Swing and a miss this time from Clark, and it picked up by Dane Villas, the keeper. No run. 85 without loss. 2 balls left of the 7th. Target of 200 for Durham to win on a beautiful, bright, sunny evening at Emirates Old Trafford. It'll skip down the pitch and a thin little edge down towards third man. Blatherwick, who's still on the field, so still Finn Allen is struggling. Did well to stop the ball. Inside the circle, short third man.
Who was it who needed treatment on the hand?
Davis.
Davis, was it?
Yes, we've not seen... Well, it was Paul Horton that said it was Finn Allen, and such is the trust I have in Paul Horton. I actually haven't checked to see if it is, but it's wells into Bellingham. That's sliced away out towards backwards point where Wood feels it's the end of the over. What have we had now? 7.86 on the board.
One in it again. To Lancashire's favour this time.
114 required, 78 balls left, 10 wickets in hand. Clark 35 and Bellingham on 48.
Hand sanitizer time.
Yes. A little squirt required.
Did once tie a match, these two. So when Durham beat Lancashire at Chester Street this year, it actually ended a run of 9 matches where Durham hadn't won in a row, because that run started with a tie and then 8 straight defeats. So
you see Stephen Croft into the attack for the first time this evening.
Has he bowled much this year?
He has. He's bowled quite a bit, especially since Parkinson disappeared.
4 wickets from 16 overs. Right arm spin. That's pulled by Clark down towards long on. Oh, it's a misfield. It's spun awkwardly there. They're going to get a second. Croft looks a bit disappointed, and it was Liam Hurt came in and it just had a bit of spin on it and it took him by surprise and slithered through his fingers. Didn't go out for 4 though, so Clark is on 37. Croft bowls again now. Hurt's down towards where this is coming and takes a diving catch at long on. That's the end of Clark. 4:37. Durham 88 for 1.
I tell you what, you can see Liam Hurt shaking his head here. He didn't pick that up. Just in the gap between the two stands is one bit of sunlight, and I think that went right in it. It was a great catch in the end because he had to react at the last moment, diving down to his right-hand side. But the wicket that Lancashire needed, and Croft has come on and done the damage again.
Second ball, and again, unfortunately for Graham Clark this season, he's got himself so many starts, but that 50.5 century for this season remains elusive. Cameron Bancroft coming out now. The Durham skipper was on the was in the Big Bash final with Perth, but lost to Sydney in the winter. He's had some decent knocks though this season, including 76 against Warwickshire in Chester Street and 60 in Birmingham against them as well. 266 runs in the tournament so far this year.
Was a good catch, as Kate was saying that. It's about the only part of the outfield actually where the sun is just creeping down, so he's feeling in the one position really where the sun's going to have an impact.
It's felt a lot actually like the fielders haven't picked the ball up very well tonight. With the 6 that Clark hit over towards the point, you could see Al Davis was stood on the boundary and he wasn't too sure where it had gone.
Croft in again. This is nibbled away by Beddingham, the batsman crossed. It's Croft's 78th wicket in T20. 1 run there for Beddingham. He moves on to 49 from 22 balls. And still the pressure, it's a real pressure situation, this, to be going along a 10 and over after over after over.
I think the 10 and over isn't the problem here. I think that's, you know, the boundaries are easy to come by. I think it's having a set batter throughout this innings now for Durham.
Bancroft plays that down to Hurt for 1. Comes up from long on to field just behind the discs, down below our commentary position.
Perhaps this man then, Kate. Bellingham 49, he's the man that's in now, isn't he? He's got to go on.
Yeah, I think he'll probably know that. Bancroft will know he's got a role to play here as well.
Bellingham plays it up towards Hurt once more. There's his 50, comes in 23 balls. And that is the 6th 50 of his career in T20.
Well battered. Got to go on though, hasn't he? Got to be just a start, this really.
Well, tonight would be a great night for Durham to get their 2nd centurion in T20. Bancroft plays us off through deep mid-wicket and give Paul Collingwood some company. They were the last team to get a centurion and remain the only team with one. 92 for 1 after 8 overs here on the BBC. Just drifted back there by 9 runs now and a wicket.
Just have a little look at the Birmingham Bears against the Worcestershire Rapids. Birmingham Bears 169 for 5 from 20, so Worcestershire 74 for 2 at the halfway stage. To need 96 from 60 balls with 8 wickets to beat the Birmingham Bears. A reminder that if Bears beat Worcestershire this evening, Bears lose to Worcestershire this evening, if Worcestershire chase that total down to 170 and Lancashire do go on to win this game, and that will be Lancashire qualified for the quarter-finals. Hartley back into the attack, 3rd over for him. Bancroft off the back foot, pushing away through extra cover for a single, and if that did happen, that would also eliminate Durham from the competition as well. Bancroft moves up to 3, so Hartley's already into his 3rd, in the 9th over. Here he comes and bowls. Oh, that loops just into the fingertips of Blatherwick, who takes a really good catch. Well, for a second that was just going to fall short. Going to slap the ball away through extra cover. The leading edge just reaching the fingertips of the Lancashire fielder, Blatherwick, who takes the catch, diving forward. And 1 wicket followed pretty quickly by 2. 93 for 2 in the 9th as Hartley bounces away in celebration.
Yeah, I think he's deserved that. I don't think those figures quite represent how he's bowled tonight. I think we've said it before, but the pitch is an absolute belter. But that couldn't be a worst-case scenario for Durham at this stage, losing 2 wickets in quick succession and 2 of your set batters going. It's a worst-case scenario for them, really. And as a Lancashire fan, for any Lancashire fan out there, perfect situation for them now. Those 2 wickets, like I mentioned earlier, it changes the momentum of the game so quickly.
50 and out for David Bellingham. Big breakthrough for Lancashire Lightning. Plenty of smiles around in the face of the crowd. You were delighted. Oh, I say that.
Oh, no.
I say that.
Oh,
well, there we go. Have a smile. Happy
I was going to say,
days.
they've got the wrong shirts on then.
It looked a bit serious, but little smile on the face. Sean Dixon, the new batsman, to join Cameron Bancroft. Hartley. You may have heard a slight surprise in my voice that he's into his 3rd over of his allotted 4. I'm running into the 9th of the innings. This is flicked away by Sean Dixon through wide mid-on for a single, so he's up and running straight away. 94 for 2, but the captain, Dane Villas, using 3 of Hartley's overs in the first 9.
Yeah, I think he obviously just thought that he had the chance of getting a wicket here, and he's done exactly what his captain would have wanted him to do. But I think that catch of Blatherwick's as well, it was not an easy catch, those, especially when you're at 3rd man, and the shot that you see.
It's Hartley, he's in and bowls. It's worked by Bancroft just off the pads out through deep mid-wicket for a single. He moves to 4, 95 for 2.
The shot that you see when you're at short 3rd man is the full-blooded drive, so you're not really expecting it to come flying at you, and it's hard to judge that depth. So yeah, that was a really good catch for him, diving low forward there, easily spilled.
2 balls left of the 9th. Dixon rocks back and then pulls the ball off his hip through the onside for a single. Dixon moves up to 2. Score moves on to 96 for 2 with 1 ball remaining of the 9th over. We've got Tom Hartley, left arm spinner. And he comes bouncing in and bowls again. Oh, that's just looped up off the face of the bat. Yes, Bancroft's gone. Caught by Villas. 2nd wicket for Hartley. Oh, he had a little deflection off the bat onto the helmet. Caught by Villas, skipping round from behind the stumps. And a 3rd wicket to fall at 96 for 3 at the end of the 9th. But as you'll see on the replay here, a little clip off the helmet, which she's picked up by Villas. And perhaps a bit unfortunate there for Bancroft, because without that deflection off the helmet, he's probably going to go over the keeper's head and get runs for it.
Yeah, I think it was actually a quicker ball from Hartley. It looked like he darted it in a little bit more. Obviously, the premeditation of the trying to reverse ramp sweep it from Bancroft just hadn't quite come off. And you say there that, you know, Tom Hartley's bowled his 3 overs, but he's changed the game. Yep. And that's sometimes as captain you get those little gut feelings, and obviously Dane Villas had one of those. If it doesn't come off, you look like an idiot, but it has come off tonight, so Great move for Lancashire, and well done, Tom Hartley.
He's such a big wicket-taking threat, isn't he, Tom Hartley? Now, already in the early part of his career, and because it's such a big total, do you think, right, we can burn off 3 Hartley overs? Because if he does what he's done, effectively, it's kind of massive advantage to you, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's going to win you the game if you can take key wickets throughout the game and kill the game early.
Rob Jones into the attack.
More spin, which Durham are struggling with at the moment, and that's played out towards mid-wicket for 2 by Dixon. He's been joined by Ned Eckersley. Interesting decision. Comes bowler again, flights it right up. Played down towards long on by Dixon for 2. Dixon's had some good runs this year in this competition, actually. That's the 100 up for Durham. 100 for 3, 9.2 overs. He's currently on 6 and needs to try and do some repair work. Jones in again. Little flick off towards mid-wicket. 1 run. ...239 runs this season going into this one with a 51 not out is best.
I think this is a really difficult partnership for these two now, because now that 10 runs per over comes into consideration. You've got to keep it ticking over. You've got to make sure that you don't get too far behind that run rate whilst playing yourself in. So it's a really difficult position for these two.
Jones bowls. That's gone.
That'll help.
Hideous delivery down the leg side, which not only the batsman got nowhere near, but neither did the keeper. Fine leg on the discs has come round to cut that off in a sort of backstop position.
Dane Villas has been watching too much of the Euros because he tried to volley that.
I think they ran 2 there as well, didn't they? Off the wide. Jones again. Better ball. Played down to long off for 1.
I reckon to the Rob Jones goatee.
I'm not a fan.
You're not?
No, but I think he's a confident lad, isn't he? And he just seems to rock whatever he's got the confidence to do it himself, so let him be.
Here he comes again. That's driven back past him, down towards long off once more. Fielder just down below our commentary position by Wells.
I do think Rob Jones is one of the only cricketers in the COVID generation that hasn't realised the hairdressers are open again, though.
Try getting in, though. This is played by Dixon down to Hurt, who comes in to mid-on the discs to field that one end of the over. 10 gone, 106 for 3. I lost count of how many places I went to yesterday to try and get a haircut, and I ended up not doing a bit for the environment, to be honest with you, driving round and round and round, and then eventually gave up. They were all busy. So,
well, if I had hair like Rob Jones, I think I'd keep it like that. So, yeah,
you like a haircut, don't you? You always talk about hair.
Like that,
Who were you talking about the other day on air?
It's one of the Kent players, wasn't it?
Yeah, had a bouffant.
Oh, wasn't it just a work of art?
Yeah, it was.
It was just marvellous. Speaking of hair, here's Luke Wells. So we're at the halfway stage, 106 for 3. Dixon's on 9. And he's adding to this total now as he drives our way through extra cover. There's Rob Jones out at on the boundary fielding.
I think what that Tom Hartley overdid, the bowling him his 3, has now allowed Dane Villas to sneak a Rob Jones over in and sneak a Luke Wells over in. I know that Wells bowled last week.
Wells over the wicket and bowling to Ned Eckers. He just nudged back down the pitch and gathered by Wells, no run.
And he bowled the Parkinson 4 overs that were missing, but I think that Tom Hartley over just bought Dane Villas a little bit more time.
Wells bowls, and this is cut out through extra cover. There's Jones again. Just a single added to the total. 107. Correction, 108 for 3. Yeah, last week against Northants, Wells 3 overs for 18. Pretty tidy stuff, isn't it? When you don't bowl too much, you don't play too much T20. Fizzed in much quicker, but wide of off stump. Dixon, I think, just trying to squirt it down towards the third-man boundary, but through to Dane Villas, who with a little smile on his face, nattering away to.
Well, he's claiming a catch there, and
he was
not out. So we said to Eckersley, "Let's have a look at the bottom of your bat."
Wells to Dixon. That's cut. Well, that beats Wood. Jones with the dive. Great dive. Loving that. It's a proper belly flop.
Yeah.
That's tremendous.
That's banned as well. No petting, no bombing, and no belly flops.
4 runs nonetheless. 112 for 3. Watch Rob Jones just emerge from out of nowhere. Here it comes. Whoa! Bang! Almost.
I think even if he'd have got there, I don't think he'd have stopped that because his momentum went with him so much. Great effort, though.
It was fantastic effort.
Yeah, you can have a goatee when you do that.
This is punched up towards mid-off for a single by Dixon. And Croft comes up to field. End of the over, 11 gone. So 113 for 3, Dixon 15, Eckersley on 2. Live from Emirates Old Trafford in Manchester, the Vitality Blast fixture between Lancashire and Durham. 200 is a target for Durham to win the match. A 66 from Finn Allen, a 56 from Alex Davis, 43 from Keaton Jennings. Now these two here, Dixon and Eckersley, are trying to put things together for Durham, who've lost 3 wickets, including that of David Bellingham for 50. So 11 overs gone, 9 remain. And 86 runs, correction, 87 required of the final 54 deliveries. You see Danny Lamb, actually.
Yeah. Here he comes, up to the stumps and bowls. Ball played out by Dixon out towards mid-wicket. Just the 1 run as Davies comes into field, just beyond the discs. Lamb's first over went for 18. Bellingham took a shine to him. The Lancashire supporters are finding their voices. They feel their team are in a very strong position here now. Lamb in again, pulled by Eckersley out towards Davies once more, deep mid-wicket. More Cow, really. He's dropped his towel. Where does the name Cow come from, anyway?
Cow Corner?
Yeah.
I presume it's
something a Western or something.
I don't know. You would assume it's from the first ground, potentially nearer some cows.
That's what
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
My mum once asked me if every ground has got a cow corner. She thought that just certain grounds had that nickname of having that. She's only watched cricket for 35 years.
Lamb bowls. Oh, now then. He's bowled a Yorker length ball right into the feet of Dixon, who'd moved off towards leg side. He jabbed his bat in it and just flashed past these stumps. He's got a single. It would be relevant at the Spout House Cricket Club in Billsdale, which is the most unusual cricket ground I think I've seen. You go through a farmyard to get there, and the ground is on such a hill that at the far end the bowler has to run up the hill and then jump onto the strip to bowl. This is played out through mid-wicket by Eckersley for 1. The boundaries have dried up for Durham, and they've lost their momentum now. And if you're standing at the top corner of the ground, such as the slope and the way the wicket's chiselled into the hill, that you can only see the heads of the people at the far side. It just looks like they're a coconut shy.
That's what I'd get rid of if I could be in charge of cricket. Not flat grounds. Get rid of them.
Dragged by Dixon out towards deep mid-wicket to Davies. They're all singles, these. They need boundaries.
I've got an answer for you.
Okay. Then.
It derives its name from a corner of the field which was safe for cows to graze on because very few batsmen would hit the ball there.
Oh.
Ah. And very few fielders would probably want to go there as well, I would imagine, if all the cows are there.
The game has changed a lot since that was...
Technology's moved on in cricket bats, yes. Lamb to Dixon. It's come off the pad as it's gone off towards square leg. Can they run 2 here? They can. Oh, Villas has possibly given an overthrow because he's hooked the ball back towards the stumps with his back to the target, and he's hooked it away and down towards fine leg for 1. So what's that then? 1, 2, how many off the over? Where are we? 8, I think it was. 1, 2, 1 for 3. So Durham now needs 79. Pressure mounting here, but they were in a really strange position a few weeks ago at Leicester, where they were needing snookers, and Travaskis and Ned Eckersley knocked it around a bit, and then with 5 overs to go they started smashing the ball about, and They won it with an over to spare, but Naveen hacked it ball an over which included 2 beamers and went for 18 runs and 5 deliveries before he was banned, and then the final ball of the over was bowled by Ben Mike, who was hit for 6 by Eckersley. Durham won with an over to spare, but have a feeling that's not that kind of night that we're going to witness here.
And there's Wells in and bowling to Eckersley. It's cut out towards Rob Jones. We'll come back for another one. And throw comes into the keeper's end. Villas takes it and throws towards the bowler's end. It's all action.
What do you reckon there? Villas had already made his mind up. He was going for the bowler's end. And I think if he'd gone for his end...
I think the throw from Rob Jones just wasn't quite good enough for him. I think Villas had to get away from the stumps, and I think that's the kind of delivery you want from your fielder, to be as close to the stumps as possible, so you've got as little work to do.
Ran 2 in the end. There'll be another one added to the total here as it's eased away through... the offside. Keaton Jennings comes round to field, so 124 for 3, so 76 required. 46 deliveries and 7 wickets in hand. Wells into his 3rd over, bowls, and beats a little push from Dixon and taken by Dane Villas. Dot ball. Gone for 18 so far, Wells. It's bowling from the Anderson end. Little shuffle down by Dixon, clipped up towards long on. Hurt comes up from the boundary to field. Dixon to 19 now, 125 for 3, so 75 needed, 44 balls left. Wells prepares himself and comes in and bowls, and that's chopped away by Eckersley. Luke Wood is at point to field. Eckersley sends Dixon back. They wanted a quick single, but there wasn't one there.
There's only been 1 boundary in the last 6 overs.
Boundaries needed for Durham. Only one here, though, as Eckersley forces the ball up towards Liam Hurt. There's the end of the over. Tidy stuff again from Luke Wells. 3 overs for 20. He's kind of part-time-ish, isn't he, I suppose, Wells, for Lancashire. I don't think he would be bowling much if Parkinson's available, but he's doing a decent job. So 13 overs gone, 126 for 3 on an evening for sunglasses and some cool drinks. Maybe with a splash of something fruity in there as well. It's a nice night here in Manchester.
What would you go for? Summer fruits, would you?
Oh, I'd
what
go
would
for
be your choice?
I'm going for something like a pina colada, I think, this evening. A nice little straw in there, some fruit. Sounds delicious. A little pina colada on a Friday night, watching the cricket.
Why not?
Can't think of anything better.
New over, and this is played by Eckersley down towards Jennings at mid-off. He's come round from cover to mid-off to cut that one out.
Not sure you can get a pina colada at Old Trafford.
No, I'm not sure they'll have the ingredients for that.
Disappointing.
This is played away this time by Dixon down towards long off. Do you like pina colada and getting caught in the rain? That's a big question.
There's a lot more of the getting caught in the rain than the pina colada in Manchester.
Yeah. Well, the pina colada song, I think, was envisaged the sand dunes of Florida, perhaps, rather than Salford. This is up in the air. Hurt comes racing in, but bounces just in front of him at long on. Remember the pina colada song?
I do. Yeah, well, I remember it from Shrek.
Was it on Shrek? Right. Know your audience, Martin. Know your audience.
Love Shrek.
129 for 3. 71 needed for Durham. This has gone off towards backward square leg for 1 by Dixon. There's plenty of singles here, but now 7 overs since they found a boundary.
I think that 7 overs ago was probably when Stephen Croft came on to bowl as well. I feel like that was the moment for Lancashire where they regained control of this match.
And this is skewed out towards the covers by Eckersley for 1.
Keaton Jennings and whoever's at deep cover there, just Tom Hartley managed to run into each other and field that ball.
Classic.
Last ball of the 14th, 69 needed for Durham. Comes in and bowls. This is up in the air, but has he got enough of this? He has. It's a 6. That's gone into the dressing rooms down below us. Off the bat of Dixon. A much needed 6. Durham need many more of them as well as they move on to 137 for 3. After 14 overs, the target is 200.
It did land on the Lancashire dressing room balcony, that, didn't it? Yeah. Glenn Chappell's going, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to target me? What have I done wrong?" 137 for 3 after 14. England, by the way, 62 for 3. They've got a whopping 233 to chase. Jason Roy 32, Liam Livingston 18 not out. So 62 for 3 in the 6th.
Great to see so many of the Lancashire lads in that squad now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really good to see.
Yeah, Saqib Mahmood, Matt Parkinson and Liam Livingston all in the England team tonight.
I think Saqib's circumstances just goes to show that, you know, you get your opportunity and you take it. You've got your foot in the door now, and I think he's bowled so superbly in that one-day series. Picked up player of the match, obviously. The player of the series, sorry. Done him a disservice.
Talk about him being involved in the Test squad for India as well.
Wow.
Now, on the back of that. Luke Wood returns from the Jimmy Anderson end. 36 balls left, 63 required. So here's Wood, left arm around the wicket, balls to Eckersley, and that's deflected down towards, well, in the end, Villas. Not wide signal, he did going to step across the stumps. And
I don't think that's come off the bat though, has it?
I think it must have come off the pad just based on the pace that Dane managed to stop it with.
Dot ball to start the 15th. So Wood's got a deep mid-wicket, a deep square leg, a long leg third man, and a deep extra cover. The bat will point cover mid-off and a mid-on. Wood to Eckersley. Oh, that's squirted into the offside. Who's underneath that? Keaton Jennings is underneath that. High five with Luke Wells, and Luke Wood picks up his first wicket. Thrashed it through the offside, more height than distance, and a good tumbling take by Keaton Jennings inside the circle, rolling away to one side, and Eckersley departs. And a good start to the over for Luke Wood. 4 wickets down now, 137 for 4.
Yeah, that was a really good catch from Keaton Jennings. Again, it looked like he just completely misjudged it. He was at the extra cover area of the ring and he had to run round to cover. But just at the last minute, I think he realised he had to dive to get to the catch. But yeah, another good bit of fielding from Lancashire. And to be fair to them, they've held on to the chances when they have gone up in the air.
And there's a little lad on screen with a pair of cricket gloves on, which are almost as big as him.
I think when he initially picked that up, he's staring at the floodlight in the corner here, wasn't he? Because he seemed to sort of do a double take at first.
Again, I think it's sometimes the falseness of the shot. That shot looked like it should have gone out to mid-wicket, and when it skews up and comes to you at cover, you're not quite expecting it. But there must be a real issue with the depth perception tonight. I mean, we've got an incredibly blue sky, bit of haze because the sun's going down now.
Here's Wood to Dixon. It's off the back foot and punching the ball out through the offside. Rob Jones comes scampering in from the point boundary. Dixon gets a single. He moves to 28, 138 for 4.
I was going to suggest it might be an idea to bring Bryden Course in at this point in time for Durham, and they have. Saw what he did the other day against Pakistan. He can run quickly, and he's also a decent timer of the ball.
So Carse on strike. Wood back to the top of his mark. Carse waits for the first time, halfway through this 15th over. Short ball, and he just leans back, drops his hands, and through to Dane Villas. So a dot ball. It's a dot, wicket, 1 run, and then dot. So a good 15th over this for Lancashire Lightning. Just the 1 run off it, plus the wicket of Ned Eckersley. In the end, out for 14, caught by Keaton Jennings. Bit of movement in the field. Third man comes inside the ring. And mid-on. Drops back towards the boundary. Wood to Carse. Clipped into the onside. Wood can't really get past Dixon as he tries to field off his own bowling and then picks up and throws in towards the stumps at the bowler's end. But they've come back for 3. Croft, I think, leaping out the way as that was heading in his direction. So 2 added in the end. Just a second. Cast off the mark with that. So 140 for 4 with a delivery to go of the 15th. Croft just alongside Luke Wood there, who's feeling it mid-off. The Lancashire player who made his 200th T20 appearance against Durham about a month or so ago. In comes Wood and Bowles, nudged away through the onside by Cast. They'll think of a second here, and they kind of flirt with the idea, but then decide against it. And as Hurt picks up and throws in, so that's the end of the over. We've got 5 remaining. Will it be the Lancashire Lightning supporters who were cheering at the end of it? With 141 for 4 at the end of the 15th. 59 required off 30 balls for Durham. Of course, 58 will tie the match as well. We'll see Luke Wells come back into attack, but from this Statham end.
It's great to see so many people in Emirates Old Trafford having a good time, isn't it? People back in stadiums. It's great to see.
Wells then to finish his 4 overs. Flicked off the legs by Cast, square leg for 1. I am told by Joe Rushworth the cameras have settled upon Paul Woolston a number of times, who is from Sunderland. His family have lots of links to Durham, but he is on Man United's books. He's a goalkeeper with Man United. It's played away by Dixon for 2 towards wide Minon. The throw at the stumps from Davies misses the target just. I think he, from his body actions, believed that was out if he'd hit. There's a pilot in the crowd as well. He's got your aviator shades on there. Wells to Dixon with a little flick round the corner. That's a nice little reverse sweep there. Has it got the legs to go? Oh, now then, who's chasing that all the way down there?
That was Danny Lamb, I think.
Danny Lamb just kept it in at the ropes. Looked like it was a lost cause. 3 runs for Durham. Dixon moves on to 33. 147 for 4. 147's generally considered that Durham's average score in T20. They need a lot more than that tonight. Wells in again, and Cast looks to sweep on one knee, and slog sweep has come off his shoulder, I think. Is the umpire saying it's hit him in the head? Like Goff's pointing to his head, isn't he? Must have come off the bat first, he's got to run to his name. Wells in again. Dixon with a... Oh, get after that. Oh, it just landed inside the ropes, I think. Well, a reverse slog. Dragged it hard for 4 over towards the boundary, way down at sort of 3rd man area. Turned it into long leg. 150 up for Durham.
What a shot that was. That's come from absolutely nowhere, and he's played that from front on. He's almost shimmied himself round so he's facing Luke Wells, and he's just absolutely wellied that. There's so much power. His hands got so high on it, he managed to get the bat speed through and nearly went for 6.
He's picked the longest part of the boundary to go for as well, hasn't he, really? Down at that end of the ground. Wells in again. A little shove back towards the bowler, who dives and misses it, but Cast is in his way. 1 run. End of Wells then. 4 overs, none for 32. Durham 153 for 4, need 47 from 5.
Yeah, Wells has bowled out. Hartley's got 1 left. Wood's got 1 left. Lamb's got a couple. Cross got a couple. Jones has bowled 1 over. Hurt's bowled 1 over.
4 overs to go.
There's plenty of options. Going to go back towards Tom Hartley to bowl the 17th over from the Jimmy Anderson end. Oh, a little route around, looking for a bit of packed lunch. Here's Hartley in, bowling. That's cut away through the offside by Dixon. Up towards Rob Jones at deep extra cover. Of course, last Friday here, before the Northants match, wish you were playing. And
yeah,
if you come to watch both games, then you've got to have a lot of resources to last you all day. Hartley bowls and Cast plays and misses. And there's no run. So you come do these double headers and you come to watch both. You've got to have a bag full of all sorts of
you've got to bring your
supplies.
dinner and your tea, haven't you?
Absolutely have, yeah. All your supplies are required. Cast down the pitch. Drives up towards wide long off. Little slip by Croft, but come back for 2. In that game, by the way, last Friday, you captained the team.
I did indeed.
Why was Alex Hartley not captain the team?
She very politely stepped aside so I could get some captaincy ahead of the 100.
Hartley in to Cast. That's off the back foot and eased away through the offside for a single. He moves up to 8. 1-5-7 for 4.
That was the deal that we'd made at the start of the season, that if I got the opportunity to come back, if I wasn't on England duty, then I'd captain any of the T20s just so that I could get switched back on, I guess, before going into the 100.
Hartley to Dixon. It's drilled up towards Liam Hurt.
Wasn't there a penance for her straying onto your shelf in the fridge by any chance and nicking her yoghurt or something, was it?
Do you know what? Since we've started living together, there's definitely a bit more bickering.
Yeah.
I think we're out of the honeymoon phase now.
Hartley to Cast. Oh, he slapped that back over the bowler's head. Yeah. And that's 4 runs.
Nice. Meted that one, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Into double figures with that hit for 4. End of the over, 3 left. 162 for 4. 1 bounce, 4 runs. In towards the covered seats. It's worth a dance in the stand, is that?
Cast did well there because he actually premeditated and came down the track, and the ball wasn't where he wanted it to be. I think Hartley saw it and threw it a little bit wider, so he actually managed to get his arms and flat bat that straight down the ground for 4. So he's kind of got himself out of a little bit of trouble there.
38 off 18 is what is required. Those lads look pretty well relaxed. I think the job's done. Needs a big over here, doesn't it, for Durham?
I think that the Durham players will be saying to themselves, you know, Dixon's 40 not out here. They've got a set batter. They need that one big over that could get them back into this game. But it's definitely not by any means won or lost at this stage. I think there's still 3 crucial overs to bowl.
Turn to Liam Hurt.
Well, the bare facts of the matter are that if Durham don't get these 38, they are out of this year's T20. They won't be able to progress with a game to go at Notts, which Notts will want to make sure they finish top of the group and get a good home draw in the quarter-finals. It's Hurt, right arm over, coming in from the Brian Statham end. The bowl to Dixon, who pulls hard out towards Cow. Davies is there with a good tumbling stop. A good throw back towards the bowler's end on the turn. He's lost his sunglasses, you'll need to pick those up. But that was away for 4 if you hadn't got his hands on that. It's a bit greasy out there now, isn't it? You know, sun's going down.
That was a great piece of fielding from Al Davis, because he was 10 yards in off the boundary there, so he knew that he had to get the dive in to stop that ball going for 4. Like you said, it was well on its way. But great piece of dive. I think that's where Lancashire are exceptional when they play at Emirates Old Trafford. They know the dimensions of this ground so well.
Hurt to Dixon. He clubs that back over his head and away. I think, is that 1 bounce? Is anybody down there?
It's giving it as 4.
Cameraman there, I can't see where it went. 4 runs, straight back over the bowler's head.
Wasn't far away, that, from 6.
Oof.
Yeah, just a...
Luke Wells gave it the 4, so that's that.
Did that land on the rope there?
I thought it was just maybe an inch the other side, but I've got to see from this replay here, slapping it back over the bowler's head.
Oh, that was on the rope.
Wasn't far, was it?
Oh, that was a 6. Get 2 more on the board. 168 for 4. Hurt to Dixon. He tries to york him. It's gone between Dixon and the stumps, and the keeper takes it. It's a dot ball. And they're like hen's teeth at this stage of the game.
Oh, look who's in the crowd now.
Who?
Paul Horton. Has he been to the bar yet?
Did he say he had to go home?
Has he actually bought a round? There he is in his fancy little pink shirt. He said, I've got to go buy a round of drinks for my mate. He's too busy texting.
He's trying to work out how to order the drinks on the app that he can't load. Hurt in. Dixon drives back over the bowler. He hasn't got much on that one. It's 1 run. Stopped by Wells mid-off. And there are 2 balls left of this over. Durham need 31 from 14 balls. They are 169 for 4.
He's just waiting for the pina coladas to get made.
Been waiting a long time. I've been waiting for 10 years.
Hurt again, bowling to Cars, who's on 12 from 9. Cars pushes this out towards deep mid-wicket. Croft coming in from long on. 2 runs. 1 ball left of the over. Durham need 29. They need boundaries. Had such a good start. They won 4 of the first 5, but if they don't win this one, they've lost 6 of the last 7.
Some turnaround in form, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a major drop in form. All went a bit Pete Tong, really, when the second team were isolating because of coronavirus, and Durham just had the bare bones of a team left to pick. Whoa! Where's that coming down? It's going to be out. Davies is underneath it. A cow. He's not. He's missed it. He nearly dragged it over the rope as well. That had some height in it from Cars. That's gone up higher than the floodlight, didn't it? It went up and up and up, and then I think Davies looked like he'd gotten himself nicely in line, and then suddenly he was backpedaling and it bounced behind him. Durham need 26 from 12 balls. 18 overs gone, 174 for 4.
We've said all evening that no fielders look comfortable under any catch that's gone up, and that was, yeah, just a complete misjudgment from Al Davis. They're the ones that you just pray don't go for a 1 bounce for when you're fielding like that. That's the absolute worst thing that you can do as a fielder, I think. Miss the catch and it goes for a 1 bounce for. Georgie Boyce today, I'm going to get this on air, I'm sorry Boyce, he dropped the hat-trick ball of Alex Hartley. And it went for 4.
And how did that go down?
Not well. Not well at all.
You should not take it well.
Hartley didn't, well, Hartley only mentioned it 3 or 4 times, so it was...
Straight away.
Yeah, and then brought it up in the team debrief at the end of the game.
Penultimate over will be bowled by Luke Wood, 174 for 4. Well, this is going to be a big over, this, hasn't it? Because you don't really be wanting to try and chase too many. You don't be too far into double figures in the last over, do you?
They've put on 37 so far, these two, in how many balls? 22 balls. Dixon nearing his second half century this season as well. He's faced 30 for his 47, 3 fours and a 6. Cars 11 balls, 17 runs, 1 4. So 26 needed.
12 balls left. Wood to bowl the penultimate over of the match, his 4th and final one. He's had quite a lengthy conversation there with Keaton Jennings, who's helping out the captain. Of course, Dane Vellas is the skipper, but he's got the gloves on. He's miles away from Luke Wood, so Jennings was having a little count around.
This is an odd field.
Everyone in front of square outside the circle, is it? Oh no, there's a kind of wide third man. There's Wood comes in and bowls. It's full of length and driven up towards long on. And we'll come back for 2. Pick up and throw. Wasn't too far away from the stumps at the bowler's end, but they have got 2. Go on, Kate.
So he's got a short third man that's very, very tight. He's got a deep third man that's wide. He's got a deep cover in the ring, and then he's got a long off, a long on, and a cow corner, and then a square in the ring and a 45. So that indicates to me that he's going to go wide Yorkers. I think that allows him to bowl that with this field.
Let's see what he serves up. Wood coming in to bowl left arm over the wicket. It is Fawlett's off stump, and it's drilled up towards long off. Again, the pick up and throw. Again, they've squeezed out 2. So good running. 4 from the first 2 balls of this over. 178 for 4, 22 off 10. It's blowing a bit now, his Cars.
Hands on the bat there. Bent over on the bat.
Yeah. Have a breather for a second.
He's had a hard week, you know.
He's had a good week, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's had an excellent week.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Another one that took his opportunity.
Can he cap it off by hitting the winning runs for Durham? 22 off 10. Here's Wood to Cars. He's gone for that full wide Yorker that Kate mentioned. It's squirted out
one this time.
through the offside. Yeah, just a single on this occasion.
That brings Dixon on to strike, who's on 47.
Makes some noise. Flashes up on the scoreboard.
That's and a beautiful sunset as well, just beyond that scoreboard, isn't it?
The crowd respond to it as well. 21 off 9. Carson Dixon trying to take it as deep as they can. Support from inside the ground, though. From this limited crowd, of course, still. But they're enjoying the evening and they're making themselves heard. 9 balls left, 21 to win. Dixon on strike. And that's drilled through extra cover for 4. It's a great shot.
Lovely. 50 for him.
Half century for Dixon. 51 from 31. That was his 4th 4. Full and wide and dispatched through extra cover for a terrific shot for 4.
What a shot that was. He's got so much power on that, and I think he knows the plan now. He's seen the field. He just stepped across his off stump and gave himself his arms to be able to hit through there, but what a shot.
17 off 8. Durham taking the game deep here. Wood in to Dixon. Just squirts it through the offside. Up comes Hurt. They're going to come back for a second.
Bad throw.
Yeah, it wasn't a great throw. Too high for Villas. And they've been able to come back and run 2. Thanks to Kate for joining us. She's got duties to do at the close of play. 7 balls left, 15 required. It's a blinding little 53 from Sean Dixon here from 32 balls. Wood, this is final ball of his 4-over spell. 1 for 38, his figures. Little blow of air through the cheeks as Wood comes steaming in and bowls.
Oh,
and it's chopped away through the offside. And it's caught. Caught by Croft at long off. And Dixon departs. Swatting the ball out towards long off. Just in front of the hotel. And Croft clutching the ball from the sky. Perhaps the safest pair of hands inside Emirates Old Trafford, Stephen Croft. And Durham lose the big wicket of Dixon, having gotten himself to half century, departs. It's a big fist pump from Luke Wood. 185 for 5. Dixon goes for 53. Caught Croft ball Wood. So 6 balls left and 15 runs are required for Durham to win the match. Of course, 14 will tie the game, don't forget. Who will bowl the final over for Lancashire Lightning? For those who have been lucky enough to get the tickets, and plenty wanted them, have been treated to a terrific game of T20 cricket. So Ben Rain, the new batsman, who's got the job of bowling the final over. Danny Lamb has been given the task of trying to see this through for Lancashire Lightning. A reminder for you, if Durham do not get these runs...
What about a tie?
Durham are out. 14 required for the tie.
A tie would mean Durham are on 12 points and Lancashire on 13, so a win at Notts for Durham and a Lancashire defeat would see Durham go through.
So it's
still keep it alive.
Yeah,
Cars is on strike. Cars is on strike, which is important.
And he can clobber it, can't he? Blimey.
Wood, 4 overs, 2 for 38.
No, Rain's on strike, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he is. Oh, they crossed in there. Rain on strike to Lamb. It's gone down the very edge of the track. How's that not a wide? And that's what Rain's asking Michael Goff. Why have you not given that as a wide? How's that not a wide? Let me see that again.
Well, he's flirting with the guidelines, wasn't he? That's for certain. Dot ball given, though. It's a 15 off 5.
We're not seeing it again. 15 needed from 5 balls then. Comes around the wicket, he bowls, tries a Yorker length ball. It's drilled down the field by Rain for 1. Oh, Davies collects it and Carr says, no, stay there. I've been in.
Yeah.
I've got my eye.
Good move. Keep Carson on strike. Get him on strike. 4 balls left. He needs to face most of them if Durham are going to get these runs to win the match, or indeed tie the match. Captain's come up, Dane Villas. He wants to have a word in the bowler's ear. Who else wants a word? Luke Wood, he wants to have a word. He's going to sprint up and speak to Daniel Lamb as well. Carson walking around.
14 needed from 4 balls, is
Yep,
it?
14 from 4, 13 to tie. Because a tie's a tie, don't forget. Point apiece, no super over in the group stage. He's got a deep square leg, he's got a long leg, he's got a deep mid-wicket. He's got a long arm. 14 off 4.
He bowls. It's a leg stump Yorker played upfield by Cars. 2 runs. Better get a move on down the other end.
12 off 3 required. Daniel Lamb here being given the task of trying to see this through for Lancashire. Bowling at the death. Of course, no Saqib but Mahmood, who would have this type of responsibility for Lancashire, but he's with England. So Lamb it is. So far, just 3 off the first 3 balls.
Durham need 2 big boundaries here. Cars has turned that into a Yorker. It's just going to be 2, and this is running out for Durham. They need 10 from 2 balls.
16
and
to 6.
This has been a good over from Lamb.
It has.
It's been controlled. Lancashire going through to the quarter-finals with victory here for the umpteenth time. I think it's only about 4 seasons they haven't actually managed to get through.
Only if the Birmingham Bears lose to Worcestershire. It's the only way that they would be certain of going through with a win here. Be a big step towards it, but not mathematically certain of it.
Danny Lamb just taking his time here. Cars on strike on 26. Durham really could have done without losing Dixon at the final ball of the last over, but he was trying to push the game. Lamb to Cars, and he plays it down the field for just 1 run by the looks of it. Oh, they're going to get 2. And that's it. Durham are going to need 8 to win from the final delivery.
It's time for you-know-what as well, isn't it? It's time for the T20 anthem to bellow out around the ground. The Lancashire fans are on their feet. Time for a sing-song around Emirates Old Trafford.
Last ball then, and it's up in the air. That should be out. Oh, it just falls short of Wells, and Durham finish on 193 for 5, and they lose by 6 runs, and they are out of the T20. They've never chased a score as high as 200, and again it comes into play. It's been a really good effort from them tonight, but the second half of the T20 this season, having won 4 in the first 5, to lose 6 out of the last 7, it fell apart really big. And now they just go to Notts on Sunday with pride at stake, nothing else. And having won 4 of their last 6 visits here, Lancashire pull off a big victory. So they've got it. They're through to the quarter-finals.
They're not.
They're not.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Well, they're nearly there. They've taken a giant stride today. That final over went for 8 runs.
Yeah, well bowled, Daniel Lamb right at the death there, to the delight of the Lancashire supporters, bouncing around inside the temporary stand. The victory puts Lancashire on to 14 points. Birmingham Bears did beat Worcestershire, so they move on to 13, go above Durham. Durham can't qualify, so Lancashire on to 14 points, level with Worcestershire, but of course the Bears just below them. I think we'll just, by the time all the equations are worked out, Lancashire on the cusp of the quarterfinals, but not quite just yet. That as we stand here, the players come out and punch fists, but a good game of T20 cricket. Durham taking it deep, but just falling short in the end. It's a big total to chase. Lancashire winning by 6 wickets. This is the penultimate game of the competition, of course. But a good night for Lancashire supporters inside the ground. Beautiful evening weather-wise, and 2 more points in towards their quest to try and reach the quarter-finals of the competition. So well played, Lancashire Lightning. Not to be for Durham, as Martin explained. That slumping form at the back end of their group campaign. Their hopes of progressing are ended. Lancashire live to fight another day. Yorkshire here next. They've beaten Durham by 6 runs.
So welcome once again to the boundary edge, where the Lancashire players just heading up to their dressing room. I'm alongside Kate Cross at the end of what was a thrilling run chase that eventually, ultimately, ended up 6 runs short of Lancashire's total. It is a win, but as we've been monitoring throughout this game, Birmingham beat Worcestershire, so despite that victory being very important for the Lightning, they're not into the top 4 just yet. They're in the top 4, but they're not qualified yet, but so important that they got that win.
We said that at half-time, didn't we? We said ultimately Lancashire just needed to get their win tonight, and they don't worry about what the other results were. They've done their job. They come back tomorrow and they try and beat Yorkshire. Simple.
Yes, it is simple. At least it's a simple equation. If Lancashire win, they are in. Birmingham must better Lancashire's result. They play Northamptonshire on Sunday, so they will go into that game on Sunday knowing exactly what they need to do. We thought 200 would be a lot for Durham to chase down. It would have been a record chase in T20 cricket for Durham. They fell just a little bit short, but like Lancashire, they got a fantastic start. When did you stop being worried?
I think for me, the pivotal point was the Tom Hartley over when he took 2 wickets in that over. We talked about it on commentary about why Dane Villas had bowled him his 3. Only in the 9th over. It seemed like quite a risky business to do that, but you know, it paid off. But for me, it was when Crofty came on and he seemed to get control back. He took that wicket. But hats off to Durham, they batted so well there. Bedingham, Dixon, they all came out and played their hand, and it's frightening when you think 199 is par score on Emirates Old Trafford. That's a bit of a worry, but fair play to the bowlers. They came back, they fought well, they took wickets when they needed to, and they got the job done. It might not have been too pretty, but they got it done.
I think the difference between the two sides, after both got blistering starts, Kate, is probably because Lancashire managed to squeeze at just the right time. You say wickets are always crucial, aren't they? But there was a sense, wasn't there, that just at the right times, not only did they take the wickets, but they applied the pressure thereafter to stop Durham getting any sort of momentum thereafter too.
Yeah, and I said it on commentary, but what Lancashire do very well when they play at home is they know the dimensions of this ground. So there was an incredible stop by Alex Davis out at Cow, where he's 10 yards in off the rope, and he managed to stop a ball going for 4, and they're so aware of this ground and how to play on it, and it's such an advantage for them. So I think being in that dressing room now, having got the win, coming back here tomorrow, I think they'll be pleased that they're obviously not going to Headingley to play that game. They've got it here at home.
Yeah, and again, the home form this time around has been sensational, and it's a crucial bedrock for any launching towards the quarter-finals. There is a sense, isn't there, that the confidence that they'll get from holding off Durham in what was a tight game of great importance, that will help them tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely will, and the crowd, I think, played their part as well tonight. They were absolutely brilliant. I think there was only 4,000 in, and it felt like 24,000. So, again, that home advantage is brilliant for this team, and they play so well at home. But, yeah, they've got to back it up tomorrow.
And how impressed, given that they have been forced, Lancashire, to make all these changes against their will, because England have got quite a lot of their superstar players. We'll talk about one of them in just a moment. But it's important that even though these changes are enforced upon them, those that step up contribute to an extent that at the moment that they needed to win, they are doing so.
Yeah, definitely. The likes of Luke Wells, Rob Jones coming in and bowling, you know, they're part-time bowlers, let's be honest. So for them to come in and bowl crucial overs is vital when you're winning games of cricket. But yeah, you've got the likes of Saqib Mahmood, Liam Livingston and Matt Parkinson, who you're getting 4 overs from every game guaranteed. So that's 12 overs for Dane to find. But I think it just goes to show the depth that the squad has. I mean, Tom Bailey still sat on the side. When everyone pigeonholed him into red ball cricket, he came in and took a 5-for. So it's a headache for the head coach to have, but it's great to have that depth in the dressing room waiting to play as well.
Well, it must be said that all 3 of those players that you mentioned got a bit of a thrashing about against Pakistan in the first T20. But I am pleased to tell you that Liam Livingston scored a 17-ball half-century in that game, the first of 3 games at Trent Bridge this evening. He's still there. He's 68 off 29. Liam Livingston is going to get in this T20 squad for the World Cup at the way that he's going, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a formidable talent, isn't he? We see it time and time again when he comes and plays here. But he's a fearless cricketer, and he just has the ability to go out and change games, and they're dangerous players to have in a 2020 squad because they can do exactly that. England were actually behind when they were going at 12 and over, and Liam's come in and kind of got them back onto the rate that they needed to be. So, yeah, it's obviously great that he's a Lancashire lad, and we're really proud when he goes out and does well with an England shirt on.
Yeah, they need to stop losing wickets. That's the only thing I would say about that particular game. But back to this one, and given that Liam is an opening batsman who would be in this side opening the batting, once again, the foundation of this victory has come as a result of the opening pair. And if you think about what Durham did with their opening pair, the difference wasn't much, but it was, in the end, significant.
Yeah, it was, and we spoke at the halfway point about how key that Keaton Jennings and Finn Allen partnership was, and how easy they made it look. But equally, the Durham batsmen, when they came out, they were up to the task as well. But yeah, I don't know why Finn Allen wasn't fielding. I hope he's okay. We obviously want to make sure he's fit for tomorrow. I'm sure you'll get some gossip for us, Hugh. But yeah, just an all-round great performance, I think, from everyone at some point tonight. They all stuck their hands up and either bowled well, fielded well, or batted well when they needed to.
And I know they would have wanted to have it done tonight now, but how exciting is it and how motivating is it that they get to do it against Yorkshire, should it go their way?
Let's be honest. If they're going to do it, they might as well do it in style. I said it earlier, it'd be the fairy tale story, wouldn't it? The Yorkshire versus Lancashire here at Emirates Old Trafford. So it'll be an exciting game, hopefully more a similar crowd to tonight, nice and loud, and similar weather, hopefully. But yeah, it'll be a great night.
Yes, it'll be fascinating to watch, and it'll be. They should schedule the Yorkshire game and last it in each and every North Group. I'm going to say thank you to you, Kate Cross.
Thank you very much
indeed, because we've got Alex Davis coming in to say hello as he shares pleasantries with Kate. Hello, well done.
Thanks.
You pooped from singing a song, not from all the fielding you've just been doing.
Yeah, obviously a really, really good win to be a part of, and I think the crowd helped us get over the line tonight. They were fantastic.
Give us a sense of how you're feeling there, because even though it hasn't been cemented, you have put yourself in a position to be able to do it against Yorkshire tomorrow, because the Birmingham Bears have beaten Worcestershire Rapids, just in case that's news to you. But there is a real sense that you are doing exactly what you need to do, and given the pressure that you faced over the last few weeks, you must be very satisfied out there.
Yeah, definitely. The first thing we checked when we went in was the Birmingham result, but that's fine. We need to win tomorrow, and we play our best cricket when it's like that. Previous years when we've done well, we've sometimes just scraped through the groups, and then momentum plays a big part. So hopefully get a couple of wins under our belt, and then it's knockout cricket after that.
I know part of it is being here and having these last 3 games here to be able to propel you towards those quarterfinals should you reach it. But yet you are performing under pressure. Is it because you're here partly, or is it just because you tend to be motivated by those kind of circumstances?
Probably a mixture of both. We are a really tough team to beat here. We play well under our own conditions, our own pitch dimensions, so we feel confident enough that we can beat anyone in the world when we play here. Yeah, we might have lost a few away games this year, but work on that and we'll be some team.
And your half-century today, how pleased were you? Because the foundation that is laid by the guys up top, I know you'd rather be one of those 2 guys up top, but the foundation that was laid, you don't come in necessarily with the power play restrictions, but you do come in with a little bit of freedom because of how those 2 played.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a new role for me this year, but I actually was a little bit embarrassed early on the way that the boys went out at the top. I didn't feel like I could hit one early, so I just had to take a few balls to get myself in, and then me and Dane said, let's just set ourselves and then try and go at the end.
Did you feel like 199 was an okay score? Because it felt like to everybody here that it would be. Did you feel like 199 was an okay score? Because it felt like to everybody here that was a fantastic batting performance.
Yeah, the openers come off and said around 200. When I batted, I felt a little bit less. But, if you get 199 at Old Trafford, with our bowling attack, we should be able to defend it, yeah.
And you mentioned it, and Kate did as well, the dimensions here. Understanding the dimensions, it's a strange thing for us to kind of come to terms with, because we don't necessarily think or imagine what it's like to be, particularly in the outfield where you field. But how much of a benefit is that, understanding exactly your angles and knowing where the ball's going to end up and cutting it off at the right time?
Yeah, it's huge. Teams come here and sometimes don't know quite where to stand in the outfield or how far off the rope to be, so we use that to our advantage. The wind as well. There's quite a big wind tonight that I ran under one.
I wasn't going to mention it, but you brought it up, so that's okay.
Well, I thought I'd get there first.
And finally, to have it all on the line, essentially against Yorkshire, but here, I just said flippantly to Kate at the end there, they should schedule a Roses match for the final group game of every single North group in the Vitality Blast, just to be able to, for likes of me, to be able to build up to a kind of a showpiece occasion. But you'd enjoy that, wouldn't you, beating Yorkshire to go through?
Yeah, it's the first fixture we look for every year, Yorkshire at home. I think it was set for after the restrictions, but Boris ruined that party. So it won't be a full house like we always look forward to, but it's still a massive game and we need to win.
Well, we wish you luck with that. Good luck tomorrow.
Cheers.
We'll all be watching, and certainly there'll be plenty of people here too. That's a cheer for you, honestly, Alex. As Stainville comes and says hello to the gathered throng as well. Well done to you today. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Cheers,
So that is Alex Davis after another win for Lancashire Lightning by 6 runs here this evening. And it has been a very dramatic evening, not only here but elsewhere. It means that just one win, and a win against Yorkshire, will be enough for the Lancashire Lightning to go through to the quarterfinals of the Vitality Blast. But it is not done yet. It will be, at least, if they win, by around about 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Otherwise, it's watching elsewhere, but a Roses clash to savour tomorrow. Enjoy it, and good night.